moments of today and tomorrow while highlighting and enjoying beer, spirits, and wine from around the world and also crafted locally. Join us. We are your hosts, Brian and Brett.
Cheers. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Drink Talk, an exciting episode of Area 51 Raid.
Can't wait. Oh.
Hang on. Let me try that again.
Area 51 Raid.
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Let's do that. Yeah. So if you don't know what's going on, back in June, a gentleman posted on Facebook a Facebook event to raid Area 51, and that was today. And
Yes.
so we
It's happening currently right now
currently
as
there
we
are
speak.
Yes. Not necessarily the throngs of people that signed up for it, but we'll get
No,
we'll get into that.
because like I was checking on it, and it was like 3 million people have signed up. It's like
Well,
shy of 3 million.
2
people.
million were going, 1.5 were interested.
Yes. But our co-host here, Mike.
Welcome back to the program.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
Brought
Thanks
it
for
to
having
my
me.
attention, and he was like, "Let's do this."
Yeah, let's do a podcast about basically a bogus event that some guy made up and,
Yeah.
Turned into an internet phenomenon,
did it.
like it happens.
That's- And the one thing I liked about it was it was all inspired by another podcast,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Joe Rogan experience.
Joe Rogan Experience. Yeah, he had Bob Lazar on, and
Yes, I did watch that. It was
Yeah.
great.
Isn't
And-
is that on Facebook or on YouTube?
It's
Not
on YouTube.
But I think Netflix. Did they
No,
pick
yeah,
up
there's
the-
a movie. There's a Netflix movie
Yeah,
that him and another guy, I believe his name is Howell. Howell is the producer. He produced Bob Lazar and
What a great name, because like people think he's bizarre, and it's Bob Lazar.
Yeah.
or Laser, depending on how you pronounce it.
Yeah, right.
Which is
Exactly.
still cool.
But
why
he's
don't we
a
talk
wealth of
before we
knowledge.
get crazy? Let's talk about the beer here. That
we
this is Drink Talk. I mean, we have to. talk about
Yeah,
the beer.
so a little backstory. Some of you guys are not watching us on the proper channel like we normally are on, and that's totally fine. But
Welcome to YouTube.
yeah, welcome to YouTube, and welcome to live stream, and welcome to Vimeo, and welcome to all the other ones that we kind of use from time to time. But for some reason, some alien weird reason,
It's the government.
It's the government, and normally we go on at like 9:30, and now we're pushing 10:30. So it was a little screwy and a little quirky, but we're up and running everywhere else except for the one that we normally go on to, which is fine. It's no big deal.
That's all right. We'll get it uploaded, hopefully.
Yeah.
It won't,
Definitely-
it won't be a live during
Yeah.
the event thing, but
Right.
That thing's got a little SD card inside of it, so
Ah.
I've got it.
okay.
And
All right.
we'll upload that to the proper channels.
All right.
Yes. Yes.
Perfect. So
And-
anyway, the beer that we were drinking on while we were trying to get over these technical difficulties,
Yes.
the mystery beer from Casual Pint.
It's a mystery.
Lots of people at Casual Pint were guessing that it was a Hefeweizen, but I have been told that it is not a Hefeweizen. Is that they just come out and say it's not one?
Yeah.
They won't say what it is, but they said it
No.
was not a Hefeweizen. To me, it's almost like the what is it? The Code Brewing Company does a white lager. It's very similar to that.
So what I was going to pull up, I don't want to draw. Come on, stop it. Back out of that.
Well, it's
Just-
not. It's not a code beer, I don't believe, because it's not local.
So
Oh, it isn't.
As
Okay.
It's not
far
a
as,
local beer.
by the way, all these beers came from us from Casual Pint. You guys can actually,
Except for two.
except for two, which were brought by Mike,
Mhm.
which we'll get to towards the end.
Yeah.
But
side.
on the dark side. So I went and picked up.
Well, actually, I got those beers at Casual Pint. Though.
Oh well, there you go.
I did.
So they
actually
really
buy
are.
them.
That's
I
funny.
actually bought those there though, but I did buy some of the other beers though that
Might
I
as
keep
well
in
do
my
it.
collection, but not from the Casual Pint.
Might as well do a shout out. There's a little graphic Casual Pint. Get all your Casual Pint needs at the Casual Pint at the Countryside Village. Check them
Mhm.
out. They are awesome. Anyway, so I kind of took a picture of their menu, and I don't have them all, but the new mystery beer, they tapped it 8/24, so about a month ago. It's 5.6%. I always recommend getting the mystery beer while you're there. It's $4 for a full pint, and so it's the cheapest beer on the menu. Why wouldn't you?
And we should
try something new.
We should really talk about what it actually is. Like, what does that mean for the people that don't know or haven't heard it on the program before or haven't been to Casual Pint that don't know what the mystery beer is. Basically,
Yeah, it's a rotating beer that they just randomly put on there,
Yep.
and they don't tell the staff what it is, so they don't know. And then you can randomly guess, and they actually put incorrect answers up on the board. A lot of people have guessed Hefeweizen. So a hef, you get the Shells hef, you've got Brickway hef, NBC hef, and finally they said hints. I'm not a hef, and I'm not. They're trying to get
okay.
away from the hefs. They got a Sierra Nevada on there, Scriptown Saddle, Hogan Garden, Hefeweizen. So a lot of people were doing Hefeweizens.
yeah.
Mhm.
So, but it's not that. Quit guessing
Mhm.
that. It's
Yeah.
not that.
I could see where they could come up with that, but it's
Mhm.
And then they also do a little game. You can guess online on Facebook, and they did say something to where, like, if you guess right and you actually did put it right online, and when they actually reveal what it is, I do believe it's free. I don't hold me to that Casual Pint, but I do believe him saying something.
or you get
to
like
that
a
Yeah.
$5 gift card or something.
No,
I don't know
actually,
about
I just
fucking-
got it for free because Dave was there
There you
when
go.
I did it, and I told him, and he was like, "That's for free."
Boom.
boom, you have it.
Got it. See, there you go.
I got
Nice.
I got
True
the last
life
one.
answer.
Yeah, but I think this one is definitely a lager though. It's not a
Not a
hef. I think it's actually Alaskan white lager.
Ooh,
I was going to
good
say
call.
the white lager from Code is what it reminded me.
Yeah,
of. Yeah.
a little bit. I've never had the white lager from Code, but I've had plenty of Alaskan beers, and I think it kind of reminded me of that. But it's been a while since I had the white lager. I've kind of my tastes have kind of changed a little bit, so I'm more of a darker
Dark-
beer guy. But
Hence why you brought the
yeah,
Black Betty in the Bourbon County.
yeah, exactly. That's
The
how I
heavy
roll
hitters.
now.
But I thought
Nice.
we'd start with the mystery beer because
Mhm.
some people think of this whole Area 51 as a mystery or a myth or a
I see where you went there.
yes. I
Yes.
see where I went there.
I did like it.
And a lot of people don't know about Area 51. A lot of people don't know about UFOs. People don't know about aliens.
Well-
and that's what this is kind of going to be all about.
Well,
I
And
think a lot of
also,
people know about Area 51 because it's been in the
my
limelight.
son
for a while.
doesn't. He's only 6.
But he's not a real person.
What?
He's a miniature person.
Oh, okay. All right.
Well,
Fair
I mean, you
enough.
didn't mention that I was on this before
Mhm.
when we talked about UFOs.
You
and,
were.
and we did talk about Area 51 a little bit, not
Yeah.
much, but
Basically
got
saying
mentioned.
that by now they've probably moved whatever was there. They've
Yeah.
probably moved to a different location.
yeah, it's
Go ahead and storm it all you want.
Storm,
Storm away is not there anymore, probably.
But-
I mean, the base is there,
Mhm.
and they still do stuff there, and it is still a secret base. But as far as if there was ever any extraterrestrial things
Mhm.
there, they've probably moved them by
Right.
now.
I mean, and a lot of people seen the movie
Independence Day.
Independence Day.
Oh yeah.
And that's kind of, and of course, back then the government didn't even recognize Area 51 as anything that was like, what are you talking about? What's Area 51?
No, it was like
No.
it was in the 2013.
2013.
I was
When
gonna say,
there was actually a lawsuit because some of the people that worked there filed a lawsuit against for cancer, that they had gotten cancer because they were burning carcinogenics there and
Mhm.
inhaling that smoke, and then the government said, okay, that we did that, so we got to admit
Here's your
that-
pension.
yeah,
Yeah, right.
but it wasn't like, woo, what? They're actually admitting to it now? So
Mhm.
no,
We all knew it.
Yeah.
Now they're actually admitting it.
So, some of you may not know, currently going on right now was Storm Area 51, which we kind of started the broadcast with. It was a guy.
shirt.
Yeah,
Mike's shirt,
I
yeah.
love your shirt. Here, let me zoom in on that shirt. Pull that out again. That was good. I think you got a mic stand there. Oh yeah, there, perfect. Boom. They can't stop us all, probably. Anyway,
They could carpet bomb us.
yeah, right. But it was great. This I was gonna call him Lonely Kid. He's probably not lonely. He's probably very
He was a
well liked.
college kid.
He was a
Yeah.
college kid, and he just thought up of this neat thing that Storm Area 51. He came up with a date. He came up with a time. I believe it's 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock
three to
this morning.
6.
This morning,
See, I thought
3
it was
3 a.m.
3
Oh,
a.m. this morning. Yeah.
see, I
Gotcha.
thought it was PM for some reason.
No, it's 3 a.m. That's why they last night there was 100 people showed up. And,
That's
Oh, gotcha.
great.
yeah. So at least 100 people showed up out of the over 3 million people that were interested or going.
Yeah.
Sure.
But, yeah, but his name was Matty Roberts.
Yeah.
Matty, he was like he said, he said this all came from watching the Joe Rogan Experience with Bob Lazar, and I don't know if he was just having a bad day or something. So I got to come up with something just to start making some memes, and that's what it turned into. So a big joke, but I think there was good and bad with that. I understand he was visited by the FBI.
Well, he disavowed it pretty
Yeah.
quickly.
He wasn't? What do you
He,
mean?
he disavowed it pretty quick. Basically, is like, I am no longer attached to this.
just joking.
It was yeah, exactly.
joke.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
So, but I
Mike
think
and I are sitting empty over here, so I'm gonna
It's
go ahead.
yeah, no. Speaking of him starting this and stopping this, it's actually kind of funny because Brian and I were talking with Mike the other day, and we were unable to do this show actually. Brian was going to be working, and then I have the fall festival going on, and it was getting to be a little cumbersome, and we just weren't going to have it. And we saw Mike on Sunday, and we're like, dude, we have to cancel. Which he was bummed, and I was like, I get it, and I was kind of like, hey, we'll do this. We'll do this in 2 weeks if you're still cool with it. And he's like, well, yeah, but it's going to be kind of over then.
Mm-hmm.
So, needless to say, everything worked out in his favor. Brian calls me up, and he's like, yep, let's do it. I get back with him, and now we're back on. But it was kind of just like the Area 51 where the kid canceled
Yeah.
the whole event. And it was like, no.
It's
But
still
then
going
still
on.
people went.
That's right. Right.
I was
back up.
I was actually just going to show up anyways.
Yeah, right?
Knock on your door and go.
Yeah.
I'm here.
I'm here.
We're doing this. Yeah.
Storm Britt's house.
Camera crew behind him.
Exactly.
Film everything.
What are you gonna do now? Oh yeah.
I was going to turn you into a giant meme then too. For
Awesome. That would have been. You could still do that. I'm okay with it.
all right.
Then we had the government technical difficulties.
Yeah.
So we
this
can get the
so
truth.
weird. I went on to Facebook, and the provider I use is Livestream, which we're currently live streaming right now. We're currently Vimeoing right now. We're currently YouTubing right now. But for some reason, my Facebook account deleted Livestream access today.
Mhm.
And I'm like, no, I didn't. I did not give you
I wonder if-
access to not do that.
I wonder if that was Facebook. Why, like, not letting people.
The
do.
iPad overheard our conversation about Area 51, and we were going
That's
to
what
do
it
it,
is.
and it was like, nope, not going to do it because we've got enough people live streaming Area 51 right now. Anyway,
Dang it,
we're
Siri! What are you doing?
we've got this black fabric around us. We could be at Area 51
You
in
don't
a
know.
trailer.
That's right. For those of you listening, we're there. Really.
We're there currently in Nevada.
Yeah. Actually, in June we started tunneling. We figured by September 20th we'll tunnel all the way in.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't have said that.
Nope.
If I start hearing helicopters, I'm out of here.
No, it's fine.
team go. Red team go.
This show is a joke sometimes, so we are joking.
Mm.
This is not truthful. We're good, fine
No.
gentlemen that have good paid working jobs, and we do not need to get involved with that.
Right. Well, we're moving on to the next beer, so we're gonna just
Yes.
power through and do that one. This one is the Intergalactic Warrior by Toppling Goliath. I had this one at Casual Pint a couple days ago. It's a bit of all right. I like it. It's a very hoppy, juicy IPA, kind of like the West Coast juicy IPA style. If you like that, this is an excellent one, and it's from Toppling Goliath, which is one of my.
Definitely getting very popular,
Yes.
especially for an Iowa brewery that, I mean, the King Sue and the
They do hops well.
Pseudo Sue. Yeah, my wife loves all of those.
Pompeii is really
Oh,
good.
yeah, so
For those of you that are actually watching on YouTube, there's a couple of you guys. I now do have the live stream pulled up on my phone.
Oh.
So feel free to ask us questions on that
I guess I
if
could
you
pull-
guys do have questions, and we will do our best to answer them. Being as though Mike actually used to live down in the region, and can you kind of elaborate on that for
Yeah.
those that have not
I-
actually seen the last
yeah,
podcast you were on?
about a year ago, I was on a podcast here, and we did more about Roswell. I used to work in Roswell. I worked there for 7 years, and I did some background work in for some videos on UFOs and things like that. And I made TV commercials when I was down there, and some of them were UFO based. Had that kind of theme, and that's kind of the culture down there in Roswell. And so I got a lot of experience working with people that seem to think they know a lot about UFOs and have a lot of opinions, really, I guess, what I should say.
Sure.
back of my neck standing straight up sometimes. I'm like, oh, what?
But I'm sure you've ran across a few that were like,
Yeah, no.
take this back to your editing room before
Yeah.
you bring it back.
No, that's a bird.
Yeah, that's a bird. That's
a
fluff,
bug.
yeah,
That was
on
a
your
bug
lens.
that crawled across your lens. Crawled across your lens. Yeah, so had to explain it to people. But there was some weird stuff out down there, and it was a great experience for me, and kind of always had a passion of just learning more about what's going on, and I think last time we talked about was like it's getting so mainstream. I think like that's why people gravitated to this storm. Area 51, they can't stop all of us. And I think people did that because they're like going, I really want to know. In my lifetime, I really want to know if there's people out there, if there's aliens out there. There's another.
So I guess the biggest attraction to this whole raid Area 51 thing is curiosity. Would be, I guess, one term that you could use would be curiosity of the unknown, of the what are they doing over there kind of thing. It's just amazing that this gained such velocity, which is great that it did. But I wish that someone was kind of like, I know that they really kind of track those mountains and all that stuff, but I wish somebody was filming it from far away. I know they've got the ability to do that. I'm sure somehow, some way, somebody's got a camera with the lens the size of a
Telephoto
Volkswagen station wagon and could hit it, but I don't know.
Well, yeah. I mean, I wish in my lifetime I do wish to know what's going on and find out. Are we alone in the universe or not? Or is our government hiding stuff from us? I'm like, I pay like everybody else. I go, this is my government too. I want to know what's going on.
So we were talking about it at work, and it was kind of like, let's just say they actually were like, okay, come on in, I guess. You're all here. You know that they've got some kind of secret bunker with just like, it looks like a bookshelf, and they just put it all in there, and they're like, no, that's just where we store our Cheerios, like, don't worry about that.
On a bookshelf? Who does that?
Exactly. They're like, there's nothing behind the bookshelf. Not a big deal. And they're like, see, nothing's here. Okay, bye. And, you'd be hard-pressed to actually know the full truth.
Oh, yeah, even if you got inside. It's
Well,
probably
even
or at a different location.
So there was an act that was passed that over a certain time they have to release certain
it's
information.
like 50 years, isn't it, or something like that?
For the Freedom of Information Act?
Yeah, is it
Bingo.
Like 50 years?
I think that just depends on how it relates to national security.
Yeah,
I
because
think
you can request.
Yeah, because there's stuff like about what I think stuff that happened during the Obama administration. I think they're already starting to release, but that's more policies and stuff like that. But none of it was national security related. Probably, I don't actually know, but I'm assuming because weird stuff comes out because people file those things, and mostly through journalists file Freedom of Information Act requests, and so
Sure.
So I think the government just says at the time, like, yeah, we can let that go, and sometimes it's just redacted all the way down.
Well,
to nothing,
yeah, it's
you know?
just a black pin through the whole darn
for the
thing.
black
You know?
lines. I
Sure, here you
appreciate
go.
that, yeah.
So
I don't even know if we even stepped on this, did we?
I talked about what it was, but we
Yeah.
didn't talk about
The Intergalactic Warrior
It
by
is-
Toppling Goliath. Such a tried and true great company who make awesome beers. Right now at the Casual Pint, I believe they've got at least 5 or 6 beers on tap from
It's-
Toppling Goliath.
it's the brewery of the month, I believe.
It's Brewery of the Month.
So you can get some prizes if you're drawn.
Yeah. So for every beer that you have there, they give you a little ticket, and the ticket can get thrown into a thing. You can get coolers and sandals, sunglasses, beach towels, things of that nature. And at the end of the month, they'll draw. And even if you're not there, I believe that it has a phone number, has your name on it. So
And
they'll get in
people
contact
actually
with
do win. My wife won.
Yeah,
4 months ago.
Did
4
you
months.
guys get?
We
like,
got the record player from.
Nice.
which is so cool. Do
Yeah.
you use it as a question?
My wife keeps it at work, and because it's actually an MP3 player then too, so
that's
she can
awesome.
use her phone and play music through it, or you can put records on it and play it. It just has a little switch. And
That's
so,
great.
So yeah, she can just listen to Spotify or whatever through it, and that's kind of what she does. And it looks really cool. I mean, it's from it's the American Beauty, the brewer. What was the brewery that makes the American Beauty? I'm trying to remember that. Is that the Shoots? No.
No.
Can't remember.
American Beauty. It's got the two bears on it.
Two bears on it and everything. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Firestone Walker.
That one.
What's that?
Firestone Walker. That's
No,
has
that's
the
not
bears
the
on
one.
it.
Yeah, no, that's just the label of the American Beauty beer.
Oh, gotcha.
It's the one that's supposed to be inspired by.
No, those are lions. That's right, not
Yeah.
bears.
They're
Firestone
Lions and Tigers and Bears. Oh my.
yeah, that was a beer inspired by the Grateful Dead. But we're getting off topic.
We
always
do
do.
that.
Never do
but
that.
but yeah, people actually do win at Casual Pints. So if you're there and you ask to fill out a ticket, fill it out because you could win. It's not just a marketing ploy to
Right.
get your phone number so they can
No.
robocall you.
There are good people there. So yeah, the Intergalactic, and again, I chose it because of the name, Intergalactic Warrior. I thought it fit very well with this whole alien theme.
Nice
I guess
tie-in.
51.
Very nice tie-in.
Storm it.
Yep.
So
Yeah, I see a couple other
Yes.
people commenting here, so thank you for your comments. And if you have any questions at all, we'll be talking about the, as the title will suggest, the Area 51 raid, or the kind of the lackluster raid.
yeah, when I actually turned it on this morning to check it out, because it did start at 3 a.m. And there was, and I started watching, I think, about 9 o'clock is when I kind of just flipped on and was like, what's going on here? And it said live stream, but it was still dark outside, and it should have been like 8 o'clock there. And I'm like, no, the sun should be up. So they were kind of just, I guess, recapping what was happening that evening.
I think some of them were just on a loop from that 45 minutes that they did capture out there.
I would assume.
They were
you
just
know,
looping it. And
there were a few actual live things still going on throughout the day. The one that you told me to actually just kind of logged itself off and was like,
yeah,
"Nah, you
they
gotta-"
actually see he had to he's froze up now too. So it's one of those things. But he did show that we did see fireworks and stuff from there. So they're shooting off fireworks and.
deploy and get them away.
I don't know if that. I was hoping there were fireworks. I hope that wasn't actual military landmine or anything going
No, I
on.
hope so.
It would have been a landmine.
And I don't know. I guess artillery shell,
Yeah.
artillery shell going off. But yeah. So, but there looks like and I did look it up. They're saying it's 2,300 people that are in Rachel.
Nice.
Which
So-
is just a few zeros shy of the 2 million that signed up to go.
Well, and I think it's a town of 65, so they've quadrupled the town.
They said
Well,
what was it, like 150 rooms at the hotel or something like that?
I
that
don't
they
think
had?
there. I think there's like 8.
The whole town.
Oh,
Just
the whole.
not- yeah.
I think there's only 50 people that live there.
Yeah.
The way I understood it. And
So I'm sure there's a lot of tents and a lot of campers and a lot of.
well, there was a lot of RVs.
RVs,
Yeah, I
yeah.
saw a whole row of RVs, and that's why I couldn't. It's hard to tell me people were there because if you were out there till 5 o'clock in the morning at the main gate or the back gate or whatever, you're probably still sleeping at 10 o'clock this morning. So
Sure.
So it's hard to say how many people were there, but they're saying 2,300. And then there's the other one in Heiko. That's they're calling it
Alien.
yeah,
Fest
the base camp, Area 51 base camp, or Storm Area 51 base camp, and that's another one I saw. They're putting up some really nice equipment and stuff for their little music festival there.
So yeah, so this whole Area 51, raid Area 51 got like, hey, let's tear it down. We're not going to do this. And some people got the bright idea like, well,
just turn
these
this
people
down.
already coming, so let's just have a big festival.
Yeah.
And so I'd like to actually see that. Maybe I can find that here online here in a little bit. But they're having a big music festival, and the only thing I can think of is the Fire Festival, and like they're gonna show up and Ja Rule's there with like ham and cheese sandwiches.
This is Fire 2.0.
Yeah.
I hope it's better than that. I hope it's better than that.
Yeah, but these people didn't pay thousands of dollars
Right.
to be, and nobody
Exactly.
paid anything. What do you
Right.
expect for nothing? I mean,
well, the Fire Festival they paid thousands.
yeah, this thing they didn't pay anything.
That was
Fire
ridic-
Festival.
that was ridiculous.
That
That was
was
horrible. If you don't know about the Fire Festival, please get online.
go to
check it out.
FYRE. Fire.
FYRE, yes, Fire Festival.
There's-
They have on Netflix. They have a couple
Yeah.
documentaries, and it's just hilarious.
Yeah, I think there's
to
2 of them
watch.
there.
It's
There's one.
hilarious in how bad it went.
Yeah, hilariously bad.
Yeah.
It's almost like those 1%ers got it. What's coming to them
Yeah.
sometimes.
Not well thought out.
Yeah. Yep. And did you hear that he's trying to revive that again?
Oh,
Oh
man.
man,
It's like, dude, you
I
lost
would
all your
not-
street cred.
Oh
I
yeah,
would not give that guy my
dude.
money.
Yeah.
You are the definition of epic fail.
Yeah. Next
Fair
to
enough.
epic fail in the dictionary, Ja Rule's picture.
So those of you that are joining us on this fine Friday evening, this is the only actual live podcast of Area 51 Raid. So check it out.
Yeah.
Uh,
From the tunnels below.
yeah.
No, we're in Omaha, Nebraska.
Yeah. Watching from a distance.
We are at a
Trying to watch from a distance here. Where I'm getting nothing here,
That's
but
right. I think that even though this, I wouldn't say it's like an epic fail, this particular festival or whatever. I think that what it does point to, though, is just how much interest there is on this topic.
Yeah.
That there are tons of people, millions of people that are like, we just want to know what's going on.
116,017 people wanted to go and do this and wants to know the information. I mean, I think all of us want to know what's out there. I mean, to think the fact that we're the only living people that have brains that can process what's happening. For us to be the only ones out here in the universe, it's kind of like, wow, what a waste of space.
I've always loved that quote from Contact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
if it is just us, seems like an awful waste of space.
Yeah. Right? So our curiosity is we just want to know. There's been too many, I mean, this all really started back in the 60s? When was Roswell?
Roswell, yeah.
That was
Late 50s, early 60s.
that was 1947.
Was it
47.
Yeah.
Jeez, I thought it was,
I was
like
way
50s.
off. I didn't do my research.
Yeah. No, actually, that's when the modern UFO phenomenon started. Was
Flying saucer.
Yeah, that was started by Kenneth Arnold in Washington when he saw a flying disc when he was up in his plane.
Mike, it was a weather balloon.
Okay, all right. But yeah, that's when the modern UFO started with that, and then Roswell was 2 weeks after that happened, and so people started going, okay, there might be something going on.
And then This Island Earth came out, and
It's some swamp gas.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But, I mean, it's
That
a big
was
thing. I
fun.
mean, President Carter and President Reagan both claimed to have seen UFOs, and
Yeah.
so
Well,
it's not like
all right. So here's what it is: when people hear the term UFO, the actual terminology is unidentified flying object, which can mean a multitude of things. But whenever someone hears UFO, their mind ultimately triggers, and you think, "Oh, little green alien guy." That's what it is. No, this is just something that I don't know what it is, and
Personally, I think of the Greys. Tall, slender, not the little green guys.
you know what I mean. You know what you get what I'm going for.
I know.
So, but it's
What do you have that video?
I do have that video. I can bring that up on this big screen here and zoom in here.
Yeah, I don't know that because it's like 2 or 3 minutes. So
There you go.
nice, thank you, awesome.
here's one for Britt.
Oh, sweet.
What do you got there?
Little alien, little blue alien.
A little green guy, a little blue guy. Oh, nice. I'm gonna put him right up here. With that said, Brian, you had me find this video here, and I'll zoom in so people can see it at home.
Yeah, we'll just briefly watch it a little bit of it.
You want to
and
read
then
this, Brian?
Flare one.
Flare 1 is the second of 3 U.S. military videos of an unidentified aerial phenomenon, or UAP, that has been through the official USG declassification review process and approved for public use. And from what I read, this video was released by one of the band members from Blink-182, a while back, and now the U.S. Navy is, nope, this is actually legit.
Yeah.
This is a real thing.
So some guy from Blink-182 was hanging out with some officer somewhere, and he's like, "Hey, check this thing out on this thumb drive I've got here."
Probably Joe Rogan.
Oh crap! He never gave that back.
Dang it.
So yeah, and basically what this is going to show, it's a video from an actual aircraft. So it's very poor quality, which is one of those things we have high definition video. Why don't we have any actually good recordings? But he's probably traveling 400 knots and trying to follow a moving aircraft. So I get where it could be a little blurry. So yeah, and it's just the dot. It doesn't really get a whole lot better than this, but
Well, this is what they have on airplanes to do
it's an
tracking.
Yeah, I think it's an infrared
saying sensors aimed at 4 degrees right of the axis of the aircraft. The zoom is just 1.0.
So not really zoomed at all.
Not zoomed at all. This is in real time. Calibrated. Mach number
252 knots. Okay, so not 400, 252 knots.
Yep.
Still pretty fast.
very fast.
Yeah.
It's almost a, what did that say? Point something, 0.55.
20,000 feet.
Yeah.
It's a dot, right?
It's a dot. Yeah,
It's
like
a
I
dot.
said, it doesn't really get a whole lot better.
But here's what we're saying is it's going so fast.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Still it's a kidney bean. He's following a kidney bean.
But the thing is, it was having trouble keeping track of this darn thing. It was making maneuvers that no physical plane here in the world can do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was just all like, it's going left, and then immediately just goes straight up, and you're just like, wait, hang on a second here. You were traveling on A axis, and you went to B axis instantaneously, and we don't have planes that can do that.
Right. Yeah, a human body wouldn't be able to stand the G-forces of that kind of movement.
Yeah. And then
Woo,
boom,
and
now, and
gone.
then it's gone. Oh,
Yeah, and I'm out.
and I lost it because it just went to hyper warp speed.
Wow, the acceleration was so high the sensors couldn't even track how fast it went. That's crazy. So yeah, that's a real video.
If you've been
that-
online at all recently,
Oh.
you've probably
Oh.
seen this video.
I
This is
don't
one of
remember
two
asking you to
clips
play
released
it.
by the Department of
It's
Defense.
all right.
That's fine. I was
Both
kidding.
videos
Keep rolling
show
this.
a thermal image of an unidentified flying
Maybe they'll
object.
say it better for us.
Going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west.
The videos have been widely
You
shared.
turn off
and
the ad
scrutinized.
there.
A lot of people think that this is the first real evidence that extraterrestrials exist and that they're visiting us here on Earth.
Look at that thing, dude.
There's just one thing. Most people in the scientific community don't think these videos prove anything.
Ooh.
Okay.
Right.
Yep.
We won't go there.
We don't want that kind of truth. No, I just found it interesting that the Navy actually came out and said, yeah, no, it's a totally legit video. Unless they were just saying, yeah, no, that's a video. It's not real, but no, it's a real video.
It's the same people that get their answers from what's that where you go to find the truth? Not Reddit, but
I go to Reddit, but
no, it's a website to check facts, factchecker.com or something.
Yeah.
Why can't I think of that?
Factcheck.org. Factcheck.org
Yeah.
is a site.
.org. Come on now.
It is. It's
Yeah.
factcheck.org.
yep.
Here's the
Org.
problem. It's a .org. It's an organization,
Yeah.
and they get paid off.
I don't know how it works.
I don't know how it works either.
So yeah, God, I lost my train of thought.
It's
I
all
had-
right.
I had something during those videos. that I was gonna bring-
51.
Yeah, back to Area 51. So,
Well, the one news thing that I thought was interesting though too, and this is a little off topic, was that this little event was taken away from something that a lot of people thought was important: climate change.
oh, see, I was gonna go with chicken sandwiches.
Took you right out. Yeah.
Yeah, people are saying that this is taking news away from the global, was it the World Climate Change Conference that's going on, and there's people like going, this is totally wrong. People shouldn't care about UFOs. They should care about the environment or the climate. And I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Do you think they that he planned this out? Because this started
Yeah.
in June.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm pretty
so-
sure he had no
Idea.
idea that the
Yeah.
world. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure Matty Roberts probably didn't want to affect the climate change.
Well,
Conference.
essentially, you're saying distraction over here, distraction
Yeah.
over here.
See, to me, the distraction was the frickin' chicken sandwiches from Popeyes.
Oh yeah, that was a thing. I forgot about that.
Yeah, what I mean, just seriously, blue. And then now KFC's throwing their hat in the ring with it's a chicken sandwich with 2 glazed donuts as the bun.
Well, I remember that. Yeah, there was like a chicken sandwich, but it was chicken sandwich, or it was chicken. It was chicken, and then it was like
Oh, yeah.
bacon in the middle with cheese, and
That
you're
was-
like, oh my god.
The chicken was the bun,
Yeah.
and then the
Yeah.
the middle was the bacon and the cheese.
Bacon and the cheese.
I think
and,
they just
maybe
released-
a piece of lettuce.
I think Omaha was the test ground for that. Like
I
we
believe
we
so,
were the
yeah.
only ones that got it.
Yeah,
I don't
first.
know whatever happened.
these are great.
Yeah, we all weigh 400 pounds here.
clogged my arteries.
Well, I heard the same thing about the chalupa though. That we were
Really?
Omaha was the test market for the Taco Bell and KFC are owned by Yum. They're both the same company.
Yum.
Yeah.
Do you remember in the a little off topic? But do you remember when Taco Bell in the 90s tried to do French fries and it flopped
No.
horribly? So now we've got Taco Bell trying to do fries again, and we have like McDonald's doing tacos.
Yep.
It's like, what, guys? Just do your thing and do.
Come on.
Do something well. Do it really good. Do one thing really well.
Yeah,
Before you
whole ass one thing.
Right?
yeah.
These are great. I love this. Aliens. So, being as though you were out there in the Area 51 Roswell kind of area doing new stuff, what?
Roswell's New Mexico. Area
Yeah.
51 is Nevada.
Yeah. Well, he was in the area. Like we
was in the
we are
Southwest,
not in the area.
But I
that
also lived in
yeah.
lived in Arizona too. and
so
Alien Mecca.
Yeah.
How about that?
the Southwest is
what is the craziest story you heard about Area 51 or Roswell, or someone brought you a story and you just went, whoa, that's crazy?
craziest story. Well, I've heard some just mostly people saying
This
that-
alien was
Yeah.
hitchhiking on the side of a road, and I
I-
decided to pick him up.
Now, I don't know anybody that has any alien stories. I've never heard of anybody being abducted. Nobody's ever claimed. I've never personally had anybody come up to me and say they claim to be abducted.
Because that's like Arkansas. Is that what you're saying?
no, I'm just saying no. But
Not
I
going to
mean,
offend anybody watching from Arkansas.
Yeah.
well,
Apparently,
what's-
aliens are fans of anal probes.
Ooh. Heyo.
but there's a lot of military down in that area. There's a lot of Air Force bases.
Sure.
And so you get things like sonic booms, and that freaks people out. And they're like, "What caused?" It's shaking your house, and you're like, And if you didn't know, because some of these planes, are so
They go so
fast,
fast.
yeah, that you don't even see the plane. And all you hear is the sonic boom.
Well, and with us living here in Omaha, we have an Air Force base here, and there's a lot of times I hear the plane, and I look around, and I'm like, "There's no plane," because you're hearing the sound way after the fact, and it's way over there. There was one time I was actually looking out my front window, and my front window actually faces the Air Force base, so I can see them kind of coming in all the time. They're kind of off in the distance, but I can see them coming in. There was one evening, it had two giant flames coming out of the back, and I'm like, is that the stealth bomber? No, I mean seriously, it was so wide. If it was just like a little F-16 or something like that, they'd be like inches apart from the distance of where I was at. This was far apart, and I'm like, that is a wide plane. So it was either the stealth bomber or what was the other one that's they say is retired, but it's not. It's at the
SR-71 Blackbird.
the Blackbird.
But
Yeah.
there's also the B-52s there.
Yeah.
There are B-52s, and they're a huge plane. I mean,
Well, the B-52s, do they have actually flaming jets?
well, what happens is
I thought they were.
What-
Those were props.
no, the B-52 has actually has
Jet engines.
eight engines, jet engines on it.
Yeah.
That's
well,
how big it is.
then I would see 8, not just 2.
Not necessarily, because what happens is
Yeah.
some of these planes are coming in so fast.
They throttle it down to 2.
they reverse thrust actually, and that's when you see the flames.
Oh, that's crazy.
So you'll hear like a crazy whining sound too. Sometimes you'll hear it when they'll go, "Whoa, we're coming in way too fast. We need to."
bag it
Back
up,
it up.
bag it in.
So
let
yeah,
me
and then
begin.
that's what you hear.
Reverse.
Yeah, basically they are. They're reversing the thrust,
Dang you.
and I believe that's what's caused. And you'll see flames from that. I believe.
Gotcha.
But yeah, because I can hear that happen. Because obviously I don't live very far from you.
Yeah.
I'm a little more in the flight path actually, and so I can hear that when they have that reverse thrust kick in. And it's like, whoa.
I do a lot of work with TMS,
Uh-huh.
and I was coming out of their warehouse and stuff, and one just flew right over TMS. I'm like, oh, I could just sit in this parking lot for a while. This would be cool.
remember the fire pit night where we had one circling over us and we lost count after 30 circles?
Wait, hold on. Say that again.
the fire pit night over at my house that we had.
Oh yeah. He was just like learning how to fly the plane, and he just kept rounding and around.
It was that black nose
rounding
one
around,
from off at
round and around.
the giant. I forget what that. It does something. I can't remember what it does, but
But he circled Omaha, 18 times, and finally we just were like, all right, I'm done counting. You know.
But yeah, some of those planes, like I said, people misidentify them as, I don't know what that is, and
Well, that's kind of how Area 51 got its allure, was these test planes that nobody had ever seen before, and people are like, that's a UFO, like a alien green man. No, well, it is a UFO, but not like that kind of UFO.
Yeah.
And I talked about some of that misidentification last time I was on this thing, because it happened to me. I'm like driving to work early one morning, and I see this big diamond shape, and then I realize, it's the air show's coming. That's the B-2 bomber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one that got me was I was out in Colorado Springs.
Mm-hmm.
And Colorado Springs actually has a
Air Force Academy.
Yeah, that's where.
And there's an Air Force Base. Peterson Air Force Base is there.
Peterson Air Force Base, but that's where we get a lot of our radar from. What is the name of that?
The NORAD's there.
NORAD's there. Thank you. And so I'm leaving Colorado Springs at 5:30 in the morning. It might even been 5 in the morning. It's we got to catch the red eye in Denver to get out of here. And I got chosen as a driver. Britt, you picked up the rental vehicle, you drive. Everybody else passed out in the back and all that stuff. And I'm like, whatever, that's fine. I'll drive into Denver. It's not a big deal. And I'm driving, and out of the corner of my eye, I just see this big ball of flame, and I'm like, am I awake? And then it just fades away, and I'm just like, that was so weird, this ball of energy. And I did some research, and there was actual comets and asteroids coming into the Earth's surface. But seriously, it was I don't know, 100 yards away, and it was right there. And I'm like, imagine if I was driving my car 100 yards over there and it actually hit my car.
Yeah.
But by the time it actually hits the ground, I'm sure it's a little pebble rock, and it's nothing. Maybe it makes a little tiny divot or whatnot, barely nothing. Nothing you'd notice in the middle of nowhere between Colorado Springs and Denver. So it was just, for everyone to be asleep in the car, it was just kind of what was that?
Well, remember all those dash cam videos from Russia?
Oh yeah, I mean that was big.
Yeah.
That was a lot bigger than what I saw.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they saw the final where they found it, and it was almost 3 feet wide.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I never followed up on that. But that's crazy.
Yeah. They found it, and it was
There it is, guys.
There.
See the hole?
Yeah. And the path that it left.
Yeah. It didn't leave a lot of destruction, but it was because it came at that weird angle. It didn't have the high impact, coming straight down and hitting ground. So
that those that don't think that asteroids actually hit the Earth, they do. They actually do. And one of them, I don't know where the location is in the United States, but I mean it's a big crater. I mean it's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of feet wide. You can go down in that thing and you look like an ant inside of the thing. So I mean it does happen.
Isn't that in the Southwest?
There's one in Arizona.
I think that's what it is.
There's one in there, and it's a giant crater in Arizona. And of course, the reason for that is there's no vegetation there. So nothing grows over it, so it looks like it does. Just like when the moon gets hit, there's no vegetation there. So, yeah, it's a big.
Or
big
so
circle.
they say.
Yeah. Eat up there now.
Exactly. No, it's made of cheese. Didn't you know?
So
Don't you see the face?
To get back on the raid Area 51.
Yeah,
though,
bring this train back on the track.
the one thing that I learned from the whole Facebook thing was, I think it's called Naruto.
Yeah, the run. Yeah,
the Naruto run. I never heard of that.
Yeah.
I'm too old. I'm 52. I don't really follow anime or anything. So
when they described it, I was like, oh, I've seen Japanese animated characters do that run before. I didn't know that's what it was called.
I'd never even seen it. I never heard of it, and I thought it was. That's why it got me kind of hooked on the memes. Just all the other. I'm like, well, what else don't I know about? So I was like, there's a whole culture of people out there that do these memes that have their own kind of language almost. And I'm like, that's interesting. So that's kind of bridging some generations, this whole little event, even though it's a fake thing and wasn't really supposed to happen, but
People now know what memes are.
yeah, a lot of people know what memes, and I know what Naruto running is, and
Is it Naruto or Naturo or?
I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it.
Or was that?
But,
yeah, I'll find it in the
I was
article.
seeing if we type, so we named this Area 51 raid, and I was seeing if you typed in live stream Area 51, where we would be at. I mean, it does show that we were actually live and all that stuff. And again, those that are actually tuning in from time to time, we are 100% live. We are actually going.
Not actually from the place, but
Not from the place, but a lot of the videos that you are watching that indicate that they're live or use a picture that says live is actually a repeat, guys. You're getting duped.
Yeah, because I'm trying to watch something live from there, and it's just spinning. There's no.
Well, there's probably not a lot of great signal out that way.
No.
Or it's masked.
Well, yeah, that was my big thing. Was like, okay, let's just say this is actually all true, and everyone, let's just say, 2,000 people decided to go ahead and go down there and storm Area 51. They're like, we're gonna seriously take this serious. Do you
Seriously take this serious?
Seriously take this serious. Do you seriously think that they could get a live feed from there? You know, the government doesn't want you to see this place, for one. Do you think they can actually get a signal out of that place? I mean,
Well-
I'm thinking Area 51 actually has the cell tower, and they're like, power off.
So-
You know, just like, done.
So
There's a
there-
guy with a switch. Like that's, no,
And you're done.
you're done.
Well, they did yesterday. They had two Dutch guys. Were they the YouTubers?
That
or
was
it
that
a
was
separate
that
one?
was that was like 10 days ago.
Too Dutch, I was thinking.
Yeah, there's two
Whenever I hear-
YouTubers from the
Got arrested.
yeah, got arrested and they both got fined $1,000 and spent
Whoa,
3
whoa,
days
whoa, hold on.
3 days in jail.
I don't know this story, guys.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
wanna hear
really?
it. No, I don't
No,
know.
there's
this
two
story.
YouTubers from the Netherlands or from
They're
Uh,
Dutch.
they're Dutch from the Netherlands and
I'm from Holland, isn't that
and they
weird?
both
Weird.
yeah, and they during the day just
Okie-dokie.
walked around the little gate thing or walked under the gate, I guess.
Oh,
and,
wait. I did hear about this.
and they're
They got quite a few yards into
yeah,
the thing.
yeah. And they got arrested, and they were taken to whatever I
The
think the nearest
fact
town
that-
where I can't remember what it was.
The
but
fact that they actually got in is like, whoops.
Well, I mean, if you think
probably
about,
should have watched it a little. I mean, somebody was watching. They clearly
Yeah.
got caught. So
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
it's like,
pretty sure that the fence line there
you're
is
probably
not-
going to have to go quite a few
Yeah.
hundreds and hundreds of yards into the facility before you
yeah, I
actually
think-
get to
I
anything real.
think the gate's like 5 miles from the facility.
oh.
The back
Oh,
gate.
yeah.
And then the front gate might be closer, obviously, but 5 or 6 miles.
Oh,
I'm
so
like-
they went to the back end.
they went in the back gate, yeah.
You said Dutch oven, didn't you?
But
But
yeah, I don't think anybody goes through the front because I mean that the front where all the buses and stuff for people come shuttling in and out probably use that all the time. So that's probably
Yeah.
So that's being well guarded. The back gate's probably not well guarded because you're not supposed to use that, or that's just for like emergencies or for their personnel that you don't want to know that's going there.
So getting back to the thing you were talking about at the beginning, Bob Lazar. So, you know,
laser.
Bob Lazar. Bob's so bizarre. Bob Lazar. He actually talked about how this whole Area 51 thing worked. He went into the fact that someone would call him or text message him or email him or something to that nature, something not trackable. So I would assume that would just be like a little quick phone call, and it was like, "Hey, just go to the airport and you're flight number 72." And then he's like, "Oh, I'm here for flight 72," and they'd all get loaded up on the plane in Vegas at whatever
There's
Duncan Airport. I can't remember.
there's actually a special terminal. It's called the Janet Flight that they called it. It was the code name was the Janet Flight.
You have more information than me.
Well,
Go right
actually,
ahead then, sir.
I watched Bob Lazar back in I believe it was 97 when he did this first interview about this whole thing with Las Vegas journalists, and they did it, and he was really credible then. He sounded like exactly what he knew what he was talking about.
When I was watching him on Joe Rogan, he seemed like on his game, so smart.
But I think if you go back and watch the one from 22 years earlier and compare it to what he did on Joe Rogan, he looks less credible I mean, because he had a lot better detail back then, and then
Well, it's been 22 years.
yeah, but that's the thing. I mean, you go back and watch the original one, but I'm sure. And then the other thing is, it's 22 years, and he's probably not trying to give away that much because they want people to watch the documentary.
Right.
So he's not like, I don't want to tell you everything, so just watch the documentary.
And you can find the documentary on.
I think it's on Netflix. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Please watch.
Please watch. So, but and of course, it was weird watching Joe because Joe was like super intense in this one. I mean, he was like hanging on to every word.
Well, I mean, it's same with you coming onto our podcast and doing this. It's not something that we do every day. We're glad to have you, and I'm so glad that you're here with your knowledge to be here to discuss this. But if it was just Brian and I don't think we could carry on the conversation that we are having right now because it's just such a off-topic, like, where do we go from here? Like,
and you've like lived this
Yeah.
life, so
Uh-huh.
I mean, yeah.
And I've talked to a lot of UFO people. Like I said, I plan on going to the Roswell UFO Festival. That's going to be in, what would that be, 2022? That'll be 75 years. So 1947.
Guys, it's going to be the 20s again, by the way.
Yeah.
Just FYI.
The 20s. The
roaring 20s
again.
I want to be a flapper.
Yeah. But
Hopefully
yeah,
the stock
so,
market doesn't
so
crash.
I want to go back.
Oh,
No. Take that back. Take that back.
yeah.
What you want
Denied.
yeah.
But I want to go back to that and just talk to some of the people in this culture and see how things changed in 25 years. I used to have a little ID badge that said Area 51, Department Z, whatever. It had my picture and everything. And I used to have it. I don't know what happened to it. But this was like 22 years ago. I only weighed about 160 pounds. I was like a scrawny little dude. I'm like, oh, that's no way. That's you.
Yeah. So I would just have a badge that would say Area 51, like AV Tech, because that just gets you in anywhere. Like, I'm the AV Tech. Like, just let me in here. I gotta fix the
Yeah.
feed.
Right.
You want to grab those 3 glasses over there? We're gonna switch it up and kind of do some darker stuff. So I just figured we switch it
yeah.
up and do some darker glasses. Darker glasses? No, different glasses for darker beer.
So we can do the Black Betty, and that could be
We're gonna do the
Oh, we're
do that for there's our lineup right there.
that's
The
got it.
Underground Mountain Brown.
Yeah. So again with the names, Brian and I when we first did this
Underground Mountain Brown.
when we first started this podcast 3 years ago, we kind of just were in line with like, what can we find that would work in conjunction with what we were talking about? So those are the people that are just joining us. We're talking about Area 51, but prior to this topic that we're talking about here, Area 51, we've done a multitude. We've done 3 years. This is episode 91. 92. 90 dose. Anyway, 92. We talk about a lot of different things. In fact, one of my favorite ones was with Alzeri. And in fact, I was up at Spirit World, and I was like, Alzeri, we're going to get you on the show. We're talking about the first week in October. So, just FYI, Alzeri wants to get on the show. Perfect. Anyway, we did California, the Fire in the Mud. And that's when California was on fire, and then they had the mudslides. And, of course, we drank mudslides. Why wouldn't you? And the best was we actually got done with the show, off the air, done, and he takes absinthe. He takes absinthe and pours it in the cup, lights it on fire, and then pours the mudslide over the absinthe. And I'm like, dude, why didn't you do that on the show? Like, he's like, well, it's open flame. I wasn't sure. Your house. I reached down. You see the fire extinguisher over here?
Yeah, I saw
On the bar?
Yeah.
I picked it up. I was like, I had you covered, man. I would have been totally fine. Like, you shouldn't have done that. But anyway, it was a great topic. Great.
I mean, it's sad, but it was.
It was a sad topic because a lot of people were not in the, California, the fire in the mud. A lot of people lost their homes. A lot of people lost their acreages. A lot of people lost their businesses. So
Pets, and the people died.
yeah, people died, and so it was a tragic topic, but we kind of tried to make light heart of it, and that's what we do on the show. Solving the world's problems one drink at a time. So solving the problem of the rating Area 51 is kind of where we're at right now. Area 51, yes, the government should have it. And they should also divulge the information. I mean, people want to know.
Mhm.
We all want to know what's going on out here in the world, you know?
Yeah.
I want to talk about the beer.
Let's talk about the beer. Let's move on.
All right, so it's called Underground Mountain Brown. Underground Mountain Brown. There you go.
R.I.P. Erica just said, "What's up?
Yeah, I saw
What's
that.
up?"
I saw that. It is a barrel aged from the barrel aged series. It is an imperial brown ale, so probably higher alcohol content. It does not say on the bottle what.
So I again with the names of
Oh.
the beers and rating Area 51, I thought the Underground Mountain Brown was actually a pretty awesome name. And Josh from Casual Pint. Again, all these beers are from Casual Pint. Get your Casual Pint needs at Casual Pint, which is a beer-filled city.
And this one is 11.9%. So yeah, it's a little
Yeah.
heavy hitter.
Oh yeah.
Heavy hitter. We'll get you there. This is
You're Ubering
Yeah,
home.
yeah, I'm Ubering home. So
this is less
I
of a
don't care.
brown. This thing is dark. Like
Yeah.
for this, I wouldn't consider this a
Air
brown.
clinky boys.
Yeah.
Clink,
Mm. Chocolatey notes on the aroma.
Prairie Bomb, but it doesn't have the cinnamon and chili
Oh, yeah.
as much. But
For sure.
I can taste a little bit of cinnamon.
Chocolate.
I don't taste any chili, and that's why I guess that's the difference between the bomb.
Yeah.
So I'm not a big, huge, dark fan, but
I am.
yeah. Well, I used to be a Bud Light fan. I used to be a Coors Light fan. You know, I used to be a fan of these things. Then I moved into the IPAs, and I'm kind of stuck in the IPA category. Now it's starting to open up to the sours and to the the darkers, the darker of beers. And this is great. This is nice. This comes in a 4-pack. I would definitely probably drink 2 of these and be like, I'm done. It's good. It's good.
I like my women like I like my beer, strong and bitter.
This one's actually sweet, though.
It
It's not
is-
that-
it
it
is
doesn't-
sweet,
it
yeah,
is.
it is
This
sweet.
one's sweet. I've had some that are bitter, but yeah, this definitely has just a hint of coffee, a lot of chocolate,
Yeah,
and just a
that's the
tad-
major note is the chocolate.
is the chocolate, and
Yeah.
then just a light sprinkling of cinnamon in.
And I like the fact that it's dark because now we are going into the dark hour of the Raid Area 51.
Yeah.
Raid Area 51.
Nice. Needed some like ethereal stuff to do the
Exactly.
yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah. So if you're watching and you want to post something, if you want to mention a comment or whatever, a question, go ahead and post that on the live
Yeah,
feed.
Mhm.
we'll do our
Very good.
best to answer it
Yes.
No.
because
Now,
we're in a bunker by Area 51. Just kidding.
And by
We're not.
by, we're like a couple thousand miles away.
Yeah, exactly.
That's near, right?
Nebraska.
In the cosmic universe, that's near.
In the Panhandle, not in the Pan. We're not. No, it's a mystery. Just like our first beer, mystery beer.
My parents used to live in Las Vegas, and so I've been to Vegas quite a bit. And then I have an aunt that lives in the northern part of Nevada, and that was actually when I was visiting my aunt who lives in Elko, Nevada. Me and my dad, my brother, we were out fishing at one time, and this was the first time I heard a sonic boom was because we were up in the mountains there. Two fighter jets flew over us like crazy fast. We're like, whoa! And the next thing we hear that sonic boom.
Yeah.
That was the first time I ever heard. So I know what a sonic boom sounded like since I was young. Since you don't forget it.
Oh yeah, no, they. I was in the Navy, and when we were on deployment, if you don't do days, then they have what's called a Steel Beach picnic, and you get a couple beers and all that, and they do some fun stuff like sonic flybys.
Couple beers, as in two,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Yeah.
Don't let him confuse you with like you get 3 or 4.
No.
You get 2.
However, side note, they had Bud Lights, Coors Lights, and Foster's in the big can. And they
Ooh,
still got-
Foster's in the big can. Absolutely, give me 2 of those.
what do you think went first?
Yeah,
right?
Foster's.
You had to get their line early for the
You-
Fosters.
You really did. No, but they would do those sonic flybys, and you had to do like hearing protection and cover because like you will burst eardrums.
Yeah.
And but it is a sensation unlike any other. Like it feels like when you jump in a pool, you stick to your. It is the craziest feeling. So yeah, very cool. It's
Interesting.
like doing a belly flop into a pool without being crazy.
gotten footage from
Good, like quality.
good quality.
No, not even close.
See, that's the thing that
But
kind of
you are a firm believer, you said.
Well, the one thing wasn't the footage or anything, but I think we talked about this was the technical aspect of it. When it flew through, I saw one that flew right through the screen. When you slowed it down, it was in only one field. You only saw the image in one field. In Brit probably knows, but in video and in analog
You should be
video,
able to find it
there's
in all
two fields. Two fields equal one frame. So two fields basically they're interlaced, and that's what makes two fields interlaced to make one frame. This is analog video back in the day, before digital recording.
90s kids will remember.
Exactly like a
The
VH,
lunch buffet?
yeah,
What?
like VHS. Like when then most of the stuff was actually recorded on either VHS or maybe High 8 back in the 90s.
Yeah.
And so basically these two fields interlock. But when you can separate them though when you in a video editor, you can actually separate the fields out so you don't get like a blur when you do a transition and stuff. So I took it apart and and then the A field you could see it, in the B field it was gone.
Crazy.
Which is, I asked an engineer and I said, "How is that possible?" He goes, "It's not.
Different. It was in a different dimension.
It's not possible." He goes, "Yeah, it'd have to be erased. I mean, you'd have to actually go in there and try to erase it, electronically." I'm like,
Yeah.
well, okay, this is weird now.
That's crazy.
Because I wouldn't even know how to do that. I mean, this is back before Photoshop and stuff. I mean, we had Photoshop, but we didn't have quite Photoshop.
It
in
was
that.
terrible.
Yeah.
It was Photoshop 1.
I couldn't
think
make it.
we're on Photoshop 22
I couldn't make
now.
it actually something that's going through that fast, which is a blur anyways. I don't even know how to clean that out. So, but it was one of those things. That was probably the first time I remember going, okay, something's.
There have a few articles from people that were way how it's actually not we know of or is theory. Just the or there's an energy source that makes them travel way faster than light. I said it's not possible for us to have been future. Like there's something that caused them to come back, and I think that's a really cool theory.
Well, and I think they could actually be not just necessarily humans, but humanoids. I mean,
Right.
they could be engineered humans to do human tasks, but they can make them so they basically don't have any germs, diseases, and stuff. So if they do come back, they're not going to infect anything.
Right, because that'd be a big thing. that
Yeah,
nobody-
exactly.
yeah.
And but yeah, that's
or little
that's,
thing is the
that's,
case may be.
that's a really. I mean, that's why I think if that's the case, this is really why the government would not want people to know.
Yeah.
That would make a lot of sense if things are coming from the future, visiting back in our time.
Yep.
Yeah, the government would not want you to know that.
No,
and,
like in
and I probably wouldn't even want to even know that. And then that's a different rabbit hole you don't really want to go down, because then you're talking about, okay, so time travel is possible, and what has it changed, and
So-
how is it affecting our lives?
Well, it is possible. If you're talking like,
Yeah.
I mean, people say that time travel is not possible. It is, and it
Yeah.
can be. It's proven today. Now
Yeah.
the times are different because of gravity. the closer you get to gravity, the slower time goes. So the time travel is possible.
Oh yeah. But
Have you ever heard of Jim Clement or John Clement? He was a pastor back in the 90s. He had this song, "In the future, and I'm looking a lot better than I used to." You know, like, I'm like what you guys were just talking about just reminded me of Jim Clement or John Clement. I'm messing up on the name, but it was good.
There was a protester sign I saw one time that I thought was like a good chuckle, and it was, "What do we want? Time travel. When do we want it? Irrelevant."
Right? Exactly. So like we could spend all day depicting the Back to the Future movies. You know, like
Well, yeah, but what I'm
as
talking
soon
about
as he
is-
leaves, he's back. You know, it's like, well, wait a minute. Well, that's his present tense self.
Oh yeah,
trying-
mind blown stuff.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm talking about like aliens. What we think of as aliens. The theory is that it's future us. Future
You know,
humans.
it very well could be.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that scenario that as the moment we come up with going back to the future, we're going to do that.
And then we're gonna go, oh crap, let's not do that again.
You know, but then they're like, well, we're going to do our research. So it could be right now. It could be 4087 right now. It could be. And we're right now in 2019, and they just decided to come back to this time and check it. And then we go, what was that?
somebody had
It
posted-
doesn't look like a DeLorean.
Yeah. Somebody had actually posted a meme on Reddit the other day, and it was Hitler, but it was like him as an artist before he became the dictator. And,
Perfect.
and he's like, why are all these time travelers trying to kill me?
Oh, boom. Boom.
no, for me, I don't know why it is, but I start thinking about time travel and my head just kind of gets fuzzy.
In my head.
It just gets fuzzy thinking about it. Like,
Zombie.
how does it work? And then if you do change time, does it splinter time? And you create another
Parallel universe.
another
Absolutely.
universe. I mean, because some people are going to be living where that didn't happen, and some are going to be, because if you did it, you know, you traveled back, but the people that are already past that time, they're not going to know that, and then people that are before that time.
Back to
And if you did go back again and did something else, and then somehow they end up merging back together,
Yeah.
because you.
Words on the SIM card, so we should be fine. We'll be all right.
so drop.
Doing a spaceship, I guess.
But they're
In
getting
a
awfully close to the. Yeah.
All they know is we're in a spaceship right now, and we're about to land on Area 51. Probably not, though.
Who's driving the ship, though?
It's on autopilot.
Another tangent here. Speaking of getting things right, Netflix with Kristen Bell.
I
and-
saw it on. It was on NBC. I saw it.
Yeah,
on NBC,
yeah.
but I
So
didn't-
yeah. Netflix goes to the good place, and so one of her questions to the architect was, "Did anybody get it right?" And he's got this giant poster in the back of a dude, and it's just like this goofy dude from like the 70s, and I forget the guy's name, but like he's like. This guy, he's like, you know, Buddhist.
This
They
guy.
get a little close. Christianity's got close, but he's like, but this guy got it 90. He's like, he was tripping on mushrooms, and somebody asked him what he thought happened when you did, and he was 98.9% correct.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
So it's like he was
psychedelic drugs. That, I mean, I don't even want to go down that path
It's a
right
whole
now. but
nother- yeah.
They are starting to legalize that sort of stuff in certain places, and I thought to myself, like, why? But then
using it for PTSD and for a lot of other mental disorders.
well,
And,
you know, it's exploring the opportunities, I guess.
It has a lot less calories than beer.
Boom,
Some
mic
of
drop.
them,
it'll get you there and less calories.
yeah. Obviously the experience of using psychedelics is a little different than alcohol, but not that I know personally. Mom, I don't know.
If you're watching, yeah,
I've read books.
they have great documentaries.
my
like
mom, who's actually a heavy marijuana user, medically.
Oh, okay.
Medically.
That's
You know?
Nah, she's
she gets the brick in the mail
Yeah.
from the government.
yeah. Well, I told you they used to live in Vegas, so she's got a pipeline. But now they live in an undisclosed location. I'm not gonna tell where they're at.
I like how you said she's got a
Whoa.
pipeline.
They got a pipeline for the weed.
And our feed just dropped. I'm just kidding.
Oh,
Oh, that's the other thing. You know, in Area 51, I mean, can you smoke weed in Area 51 if you're working there? Can you like?
well, so I asked it. So I have a friend
There
of mine.
could be research on it. Who
Yeah,
knows?
they could
I
be
don't know.
doing research on it.
I have a friend of mine that just moved to Colorado to work in Colorado, and I was like, what's their policy on stuff? They said because it's legal. They
It's
said
chillaxed.
well, they said they treat it like alcohol. Like you can't drink at work, and you
No.
can't be drunk at
Don't
work.
show up to work
Exa-
that way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So he said,
Whatever you do in your off time,
yeah,
you know.
that's pretty much the policy.
Yeah.
He said there are companies that still are like, nope, you can't.
Well,
get
yeah,
into it.
you know, you come with like eyes that are crazy red, and you're just not making any sense. You're just like, go home, man. Like, really?
The walls are not
Really?
literally
Oh,
melting.
well, I'm like,
This is not McDonald's.
Yeah.
Go home.
I mean, if you work for like are you going to be a bus driver? I mean, you're going to go drug test because you don't want those guys smoking weed.
Well,
at all.
Yeah.
that's the problem. Yeah, you're driving other people's, kids. That's
around,
a
yeah.
different
You make sense of it.
responsibility
Exactly.
than like flipping flapjacks in the back of the room. You know.
And we just lost the McDonald crowd.
But that's Burger King, which is so
Whoever it
weird.
is, yeah.
Like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
We've covered a lot of gamuts here.
Yeah.
We never do
The
that.
gamma rays.
We usually stick to one
Yeah.
topic and we
Yeah.
go straight through.
Let's
I mean,
let's
Your last podcast though was pretty good. I mean, I really like Aaron. I think he's a great
Oh,
guy and he's
he's wicked
super smart.
smart. Wicked
so
smart, yeah.
knowledgeable about
Yeah.
a lot of things.
But he couldn't do this.
No. No.
I love him, but yeah, he's like, no, I'm not gonna go down there.
No, I actually
my-
asked. I gotta pick up my daughter. I was like, yeah, it's fine. No big deal.
Cool.
So
Anything else we need to talk about with Area 51? Do we need to bring the train back on the tracks, or have we pretty much covered everything on that?
well,
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
know, there's a little bit more about Bob Lazar, and I don't know
Okay.
if I talked about it last
let's do
time.
it.
You know, you talked about, we don't have that energy source and everything. Well, if you go back, you watch his earlier interview with, I think his name's George Knapp. He's a Las Vegas journalist. He did this. He's the one that broke this story, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And Bob Lazar talks about something called Element 151.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do. So I did watch that a long time ago, but it's been so long that I've forgotten most of it. But yes, I remember him talking about it.
And then, of course, that was back when nobody even knew about Element 151, and that's what made it kind of really credible to a lot of people was Una Patenium, which had never been even produced. It's actually been
what was the name of that again?
Una Patenium. It's now
It's like it's unattainium.
yeah.
It almost sounds like
unobtainium.
Yeah,
It's
but
like
it's
Bob
Una-
Lazar is so bizarre.
Right, that was
Unobtainium.
but that was what the placeholder name for it. Now it's called Moscownium.
Wouldn't Una Pentenium be 115, not 151?
No, it's 115. The element is 115.
Okay, you said 151.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was like,
Sorry.
when you, yeah,
You know,
I
I was drinking
apologize.
earlier.
Yeah. No, I didn't drink before this.
I'm
at
giving
least.
you a hard time.
I know, but I did the last time I was on here.
no,
But no, it's 115, element 115, and it's basically we found out it's a heavy metal,
Not the band or not the
No.
music genre.
But it's
Heavy
also
metal.
it's highly
radioactive.
radioactive. Yes, and
You were here. We're here.
yeah, okay, very good. We're completing each other's sentences. Very good.
Yes,
but
we're at that point of our friendship.
but he
now.
talked about it, and the way he talked about it was that's how they use that as an energy source to produce anti-gravity,
Mm.
and that's
It
like
takes a huge.
and
amount
that's
of
what
energy.
he's like. People are going. Then after it gets discovered, people are like thinking, "Oh, yeah, it is a
guy was
very
talking about this one-
yeah, this is very powerful stuff." And but of course, when it was actually created in a lab, it only lasted like less than a third of a second.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's because that it's not naturally found on this planet, but it exists somewhere in this universe. It does exist, and there could be a race of
Planet full of 115.
It could be on Mars. We don't even know. I mean, we haven't brought anything back from Mars. We could they could exist right here in our own.
It's on, it's on the moon. Have you speak? Okay, so this goes along with aliens.
Unobtainium.
Yeah.
But that's what I wanted to mention though. That's what made Bob Lazar credible, and that's what I think a lot of people gravitated around, which is just that
That-
idea.
yeah. If even if just that portion was correct, like everything else is like, is it plausible?
Yeah.
So,
But nobody else had ever talked about that before.
yeah.
Unobtainium.
Sorry, I just had to slip that in there.
So, keeping in with the alien theme that we're talking about, have you heard those the recordings that were never like really released to the public about the moon landing and all that, the stuff that wasn't put on the live broadcast, and you hear the astronauts actually talking about, yeah, we see them, they're over the ridge, they're watching us, that kind of stuff, and you're like,
What would you say?
yeah, I'm sorry, excuse
Come
me?
again? Huh?
Yeah. So
You're on the moon. I can barely hear you. What?
So yeah,
Yeah,
I
there were-
don't know how authentic those video or that audio is, but
I don't know. I wasn't there when I was alive, but I really didn't know what was going on when they're doing those moon landing things, But there is people say that there's like
a moon base up there.
They take it off of the live feed or the public feed and all goes private all of a sudden, like click,
Yeah.
It's like, well, why would they do that? Because something got said, and
Secrets.
there's probably a delay, so they know when.
Oh yeah, there's
Yeah.
a minute delay for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
like, easy.
So-
Boop.
Yeah, exactly. So you
Probably
just,
a
it's just
5-minute delay
It's
from
just
the
like
moon.
it's just like like television now when you see stuff. Even like if you go to a sports bar, you'll like if you watch it on the networks, it's delayed more than it is on DirecTV because the networks are going to cut off if somebody.
Direct TV.
Yeah, DirecTV doesn't care. If you swear over it or whatever, they don't
That's
care.
correct.
But yeah,
That's what you pay for.
So that technology had to exist back then too, because they're probably prepared for it. Because you never, especially something like catastrophe happened. Obviously, they didn't want to hear astronauts burning up in space or anything. So you had to be able to
happened
cut,
with the Challenger. I remember
Yeah.
watching that as a kid in
Yeah.
school.
Boop.
exactly. That feed got cut, but it didn't actually get cut. I remember
No,
watching
they're
the
fine. They're fine. They're fine.
the
they're
Challenger.
fine.
I don't, but of course, we were listening. I remember listening to that and watching that when I was probably in 8th grade, and
Yep.
I was like,
And the teacher was like, "And we're gonna go do some other work now."
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
oh, and that reminds me.
Look at the puppy over here. Look at the puppy over here.
That reminds me. When I was watching this afternoon, and I was just listening, and I was working away, and and the guy's talking. He goes, he's live from Area 51 or the live from the Rachel. And he goes, and then he starts reading a comment, and they're like going, "Hey, we're watching you from school. Can you tell us what's going on there?" Like he's like going, "You're watching me from school. Well, I got to watch my language now. Thanks."
Appreciate the heads up.
Yeah, appreciate the heads up
How
that
old are
schools
you?
are live streaming this.
School's cool. Stay in
I think
school.
like a middle school or something, and they're like, yeah, and I'm like, yeah, that's what's going on in our schools. Is they're watching live streams on YouTube, but
Friday.
yeah, and
Whatever.
this is probably part of some kind of history. You never know,
Teachers in the teacher lounge. Like,
Could wake and bake all day, man.
and
more
this
coffee.
and this could be like an annual thing, so it could turn into something, And I mean, could you imagine? Back when Woodstock was going on, if there was, YouTubes and things like going that,
Oh, jeez, yeah.
wouldn't that be just? I mean, totally bizarre. And that's wouldn't it?
Bob Lazar.
How bizarre. Bizarre.
Yeah, well, with social media, and let's kind of round this back onto the tracks again, and we kind of did want to talk about social media and the presence of people in getting the word out on aliens, Area 51, UFOs. Like our network of the interwebs has gotten a lot more refined, and if you want to find something, you can find something. Whether it's truthful or not, I don't know. You know, that's for you to say and for you to make up your own mind about.
Fake news.
Fake news, maybe. Don't watch CNN. Like I don't know. No. Don't let me fray you away from what you want to watch and what networks you want to watch and where you want to get your news. But there's just
That InfoWars guy's pretty cool.
yeah, right. The information is out there. Whether you, like I said, whether you want to believe it or not. I hate that they use the word conspiracy theory, because as soon as they say that word, it's like all minds shut off. Like, this is dumb.
Yeah.
Whatever.
There's no legitimacy to this.
Like, just using that word alone turns a lot of people away from something that actually could be real, you know, and something that can be credible. It's called a conspiracy theory. Most like the UFOs. It's unidentified. They cannot identify what is happening. So they call it a conspiracy theory. So, you know, you should be watching things of that nature. There's lots of things that my wife and I watch on YouTube, and people would go, really you're watching that? Like, one of my favorites is Jason A.
like guilty pleasure stuff, man.
Jason A. We've talked about him on our program multiple times. The way you got to find him, it's Jason, and then you do space, and then you do A, and then you do space again. So if you don't do that secondary space after the A, he doesn't come up. It's like they're trying to hide him as much as possible. But really, all he does is he watches news networks, or he has a team of people that watches news networks, and then he just gives you the news. And he doesn't talk over it. He doesn't give his own opinion. He just says, here it is. Make up your own mind about it. And that's what I really like, is not people interfering, not people. I mean, our show is really, you have to sit here and listen to us, and this is what you get. But he just, here it is, make up your own mind, you know. And that's what I really like about his channel. And that's just one out of bazillions that are out there. And that is a number, right? Bazillions?
It is today.
Bob Lazar said bazillions is right.
How bizarre, Bob Lazar.
Poor Bob.
Yep.
Hope he's not watching.
I hope he is. Bob, could you comment, please?
Well,
Put a comment in.
Yeah.
But
right?
but I
Oh my gosh, he is watching. No.
don't do that.
Dude, where are you right now? Come here.
Yeah.
But I did like when I saw
knock on the window. You're like, what? Sorry, sidetracked.
Well, the one thing I did notice that, like, from the media stuff that was going on, was that they didn't make people out as kooks that were there.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Well, there was
people were trying to be kooks.
the news, yes, but there was a channel that I was watching, and the guy had like a blow up suit on, and he's like flapping around like, I'm the aliens
look
carrying
at
me.
Yeah, look at me. But there's people that are there that just want to go, you know, what's going on? I want to know what's going on.
Probably the YouTube guy that you were watching
Yeah,
earlier.
yeah.
I don't know that he went there to be part of it, or it was just, I need to film this because
I want to be.
In every crowd, you'll get that guy that's the jackass, essentially.
weirdo.
Yeah, right. Come on, man.
That's old.
Yeah.
What's his name?
I'm gonna go, ha ha. Stop it. You know, like, you got 2 laughs out of me. That's it. Get out of here.
You were on national TV, dude.
Yeah, right.
There was your 5 minutes of fame.
That was 5 seconds of fame,
Yeah.
and not 5 minutes of fame.
But it'll turn into an international meme, and
Yeah.
Absolutely, it will.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Inflatable flailing arm guy.
There was a bit about Mad TV where she falls in love with the flailing arm thing from the car place, and they get married, and he's so happy to see. And when he proposed, I mean, or when I proposed to him, he was all arms. He just wanted to go dance. It's just this.
So I'm
Party's still going on?
I'm trying to see if the party's still going on here. What I got going on here? Because I see some things going on.
Oh, they're
Yeah. And then there was the
there.
well, because the other one that's going on in Rachel is called Alien Stock also, and I think
But which one are you going to?
yeah, well, somebody actually sent a cease and assist order to him, and I'm like, I don't think any of you own Alien Stock. I think that's actually out of the Roswell people already own Alien Fest, Alien Stock, Alien Rama. I don't know. I think they own them all.
Is that
Alien-orama.
something that's actually traded on the market? Alien stock?
Yeah.
Like, I'd like to buy some of that. I'd do that. Like, so let's see where this
But
goes.
I think yeah, but I
It
think
could take off next
2%.
I think the Roswell people though kind of locked up all the good names for alien festivals.
Alien and then like blank space.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
We've trademarked all the things.
Alien stock. You know, even multiples of it. They've probably got .com. They own all the .coms.
.org,
.org.
.net,
Area 52. You were all wrong.
Yep. They've already
boom.
they've moved it. They were gonna go with area.
They were a block over. You guys didn't even know.
Yep. They were gonna go with area 51B, but that was too obvious. So 52.
Area 52.
That's right. Where is area 50? I want to know where
50-50?
I want to know where area 50 is. I know where area 51 is.
I just wonder how did Area 51 get its name?
I am now
didn't-
like
Well,
ready to jump off and
well,
see
now
where
I'm,
50 is at.
Now I'm thinking. Now you're just going. Well, where was Alien or Area 50 or where was Area
Area
1?
one, yeah.
And then I missed 50 of them.
Yeah.
There's like where are all these other ones?
Why are we just now
Where-
hearing about 51?
And no, it's like that TV show that used to be what was that called? Warehouse 13.
Oh yeah.
You remember that?
Where's the 12?
Yeah, where was all these other
They
warehouses?
screwed up, and now they finally got it right.
Well,
They're
they
like,
got
we'll film that.
We got 13 here now. We had to move it. We had to keep moving because people kept finding it, so
Yeah.
we had to keep moving. And it's
So yeah, now it's like area 247,647 because they keep finding it.
That might be a lot. That's
Yeah.
too much.
Age of the internet, they're finding it all the time. Like they have to move it every week.
Yeah, right.
so I don't know how it got its name, Area 51. I kind of want to go research this.
It's
now.
on the cloud.
You're welcome. It's
Yeah.
good.
Sorry.
I
It's
wanna
on the
go figure
cloud.
this out.
Yeah, in the clouds.
In the clouds?
Yeah.
On
I
the
do.
cloud.
I do like that they named their minor league baseball team the Area 51s. I thought, okay, that sounds totally normal for a baseball team. For the Area 51s, and then they're I did. think
Sponsored
that's-
by the U.S. government.
Yeah.
We are 51 areas? No, it's backwards, man. Wrong.
So everybody has the number 51 on their jersey, so you don't really know who's who.
51's up to bat, and 51 makes the catch, and 51 pitches, and 51 steals home.
So I mean, the stats are all messed up.
Yep. 51's got a batting average. It's crazy. Yeah, but this 51 has not.
I wish.
Well, it is totally dark there though. Now you can see the video here. This guy's doing, and he's like, "Yeah, there's nothing going on there. Almost, it's so people with glow sticks.
Oh, the glow stick crowds.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Right.
The glow stick
The,
crowd.
the hippie,
Yeah.
hippie techno trance crowd just showed up, so
Yeah.
we're out of here.
This is where the psychedelic mushrooms have just kicked in.
So that
Just let them be. They'll sleep. They'll
Yep.
sleep here in a little bit.
side tangent. The hippy dippy weather by George
Hippy
Carlin.
Hippie dippy weather.
If you look at tonight's map, you
No,
realize we don't have a map.
The-
Picture last night's map in your mind. Tonight's forecast, dark.
The hippie
Continue
dippy
dark
weather.
until morning, where it's slightly light.
That is too funny.
Oops, I shut it down. Actually,
Should we get another beer out? Is that where we're going?
Oh, I'm
Oh, sure.
slacking. I'm slacking. I was talking.
that's
too
right.
much.
I'm enjoying. Now it's down to the point where everybody's asked on the chat is going. So when are you guys gonna go raid? That's what everybody-
Is there
our house and we lost transition. So
You're going to have to tune in on Sunday to see what you missed because it got captured right on the card.
Well,
it's all captured on the card. I don't know if
I do want
Okay.
to read.
I might have to put the two videos together.
So
fine.
it broke. Okay.
I'm going to
broke,
read
yeah.
the statement that our lawyers have prepared for us. That the,
Ooh, beautiful.
You guys have lawyers?
We got some guys. We know some guys.
they've read law before.
We got some guys. You know,
that's,
Well,
I will do you this one favor.
One favor. You know.
Full disclosure, I'm actually wired by the federal government. They got a mic on me. So.
Perfect. All right.
Mike
So-
on Mike. You got a mic on Mike?
So now that you let me know that you have lawyers, I have to let you know that
Oh,
the
yeah.
federal government is embedded me in here. So
It's like in your tooth or something. Because I know if the aliens did it, then you know where that would be, right?
I'm glad that you get to drink on your job. I wish I had your job.
Yeah.
I don't get paid to do that. I mean, they just got stuff on me.
Fair enough.
Dude, so side tangent, like there was a guy that had a whole show. It was like a,
Brian, we gotta get out of here.
so like Anthony Bourdain, you know who Anthony. So it was basically like Anthony Bourdain, but it was this other guy, and all he would do is go around the world to pubs and stuff and drink, and that was his job. And I was like,
Pub crawl for life.
how do you get that job? Because that's amazing. And how did that pitch go
Hold on.
to the network? Because that's
Hold
awesome.
on. Have you ever seen Three Sheets?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's exactly what I was thinking.
It's the
That's
same
what it was.
thing. It's the same
Yeah.
thing.
yeah.
I don't know whatever happened to that show. That guy probably died.
No.
Alcohol poisoning.
Zane Lamprey.
Yeah.
Zane Lamprey was, I mean, by far, probably the best show that was on DirecTV. By far, bar none. Like, you look for the little monkey and you drink when you see the little monkey, and you take shot for shot with him, because that's just what you do on a show called Three Sheets. And he went to some of the craziest locations and drank what was local there. It was like, oh, well, we're in rum country. Well, I'm going to drink the rum, like that's
You know,
what you do.
one of my favorite shows in the 90s, and you'd probably remember it. I don't know if Britt would remember it, was Two Drink Minimum. It was a comedy show. And basically, it was like,
Oh yeah.
it was stand-up comedy,
Yeah.
but like you had to have at least 2 drinks in you before you went up on stage.
Mhm.
So it was great. I forget the guy's name. He was like bald.
So, like,
Can't
we're
remember his name.
100% live, but we have the churning signal the whole entire time, and that's okay.
Well, on yours, mine's fine.
Yeah, we're going fine.
Maybe, well, it's maybe it's my Verizon mobile network. Who knows?
But yeah,
Another $5.
And battery power 15% done.
I want to talk about this beer because
All
you guys
right,
are
we
thinking
got to
about
talk
it.
about the beer.
Yeah.
Let's talk about
Commercial
this.
break.
Commercial
This
break.
commercial brought to
Well,
you
we
by.
did have a commercial break. We had to go offline for a
Yeah.
second. Now we're back on.
That was a government intervened commercial
You
break.
know, that was so weird that I couldn't go Facebook Live.
I
and-
think they shut it down like for maybe this event, not just us. but
No,
for the
like-
event.
So you think there's a lot of people out there with this camera, and they were just like, nope,
No.
can't do it?
No,
No.
but
Because Livestream could have done that. They were like,
But do you have to have that camera to have that software, or can you use
Anything
that?
but-
Yeah.
So Mevo is hooked to the Livestream.
yeah.
Livestream does like soccer, football, all these
Mhm.
sort of
Yeah.
sporting events. And
I'll let you
to
do that.
log on and say that I am unable to use this device, and it's like, I did this today, and I'm like, I didn't say I couldn't use this today. This is ridiculous. Possibly, I don't know. I am not a Facebook. Like if tomorrow I get on and I'm able to live stream this camera onto Facebook, then I'll go, yeah, no, there was something going on.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think
But
it
if I
might
log
have
on,
been.
if I log on tomorrow and for some reason I still can't use this camera, I go, okay, well maybe there's a software issue somewhere. But yeah, it was just weird that it said the date that I deleted live stream was capable of accessing my Facebook live stream to input that. And it said I deleted today. I didn't. I wanted to go live today. But if I can go live tomorrow on this, I'll be like, yeah, what's going on here? There is going to be some emails that happen tomorrow going, why can't I use this? Very expensive streaming service, very expensive camera to go on Facebook Live.
Something that's going to happen tomorrow, but so some people won't be able to, if you're going to watch this later, but the Fall Festival.
Yes, absolutely. Another great beer.
Let's plug that in there for a little bit. 'Cause
Another great beer that we're drinking on, we got from Casual Pint, and surrounding people.
the Countryside Village.
A small town in the city, right by Westside, guys. It's on.
I worked in advertising. I think this is important.
It is very important, and in fact, I am actually going to be supplying the AV for this.
What?
Yeah, so
Tomorrow at
yeah,
Countryside Village?
yeah. So tomorrow at Countryside Village in Omaha, Nebraska. It's 85th, 86th, and 86th and Pacific.
Across from Westside High School.
Yeah, across the west side. It's right in the middle. They're going to block it off. You can't drive your cars in there. They're going to have a lot of, like, Timber's got 2 pigs roasting right now. So you're going to be able to get some pig roast. You're going to be able to get some beer. It's Oktoberfest going on, so there's going to be some great beer going on. There's
It's
going
Fall
to be
Festival, not Oktoberfest.
Well, actually, it's Oktoberfest at the German American Society.
Well,
Yes.
what I'm saying,
But I
though,
think that's why we can't call it Oktoberfest.
we
at
can't.
Countryside
You know,
Village.
but you can buy that beer.
Oh, yeah.
You can buy. It's not Oktoberfest, but you can buy that beer. Also, I'm sure there's games that are being played in the parking lot.
Oh, yeah.
There's
Some cornhole going.
big cornholes going for sure.
Inflatables.
I'm gonna have a sound system there, so there's gonna be some great, it's 80s, 90s.
DJ
today's-
Are you
Illuminate's
DJing?
DJ Illuminate's going
I'm
to show up?
not DJing because I'm gonna set it all up. I'm gonna go to with my son. I'm gonna come back and we're gonna do the thing. But I will have a iPod with the Galaxy Mix, something cool going. I don't know. Anyway,
There's a Beastie Boys song called Intergalactic.
Planetary.
Intergalactic Planetary. I don't have the money to pay them, so I'll sing it. We'll also have in the evening. It is the Cornhusker game.
Yep.
I'll have a screen and projector going.
Damn.
Yeah, so we
You
got
the
it
whole
all.
9
We
yards
got it all
working.
lined up.
At least 8.
Well, I was hoping for 10.
So yeah, if you
That's what
don't
she
if
said.
you don't have a place to watch it, please come out to the Countryside Village for the Fall Festival, and you can catch the Cornhusker game. You can
Now-
catch cornhole. You can catch pig roast going on. There's lots of fun. They're bigger and bigger,
Yeah.
and with your help and support, they're going to even get bigger. So
Oh, yeah.
please come and join us.
And I have to admit, I'm having a really, really good time right now. Just talking about the Fall Fest. My wife wants to go to that, and I'm like, yeah, we got to go.
Well, and my wife was like, well, we got to do, we got other things to do. I'm like, I'm going to go set it up. I'm going to make sure they're good to go. I'm out for a little bit, and then I'm going to come back. And so
Put the playlist on repeat.
you'll see me in the morning. You'll see me in the afternoon. You'll see me in the evening. I'll be around, but I just, there's a block of my time I've got to be with the family.
So that's our. You can go back and talk about the beer. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right.
We were just kind of holding holding the fort until.
Appreciate that.
I had no problem holding
Well, I
forward.
slipped out sideways.
Yeah.
So
Hold on. The underground fort under Area 51.
Yes.
Coming to you live broadcast.
yes, that's why we have the blackout curtains, because we don't want you to
Right.
see
Now
where
I'm
the
just
actual
thinking.
location
I think you
is.
should just call this the bunker.
Speaking of that,
It
the
is.
last time you were here, this was not our studio, was it?
No, we were
It was
the other
turned-
way.
it was
We were
turned,
turned
yeah.
the other because I was looking at these pictures here before. when
Yeah, isn't it?
I
What
was
do you
down-
think of the new studio?
No, I like it. I mean,
It's comfortable.
it is. And
Sorry.
it's
third
it's-
iteration.
Yeah, we went from the
bar. Yeah.
to the table that way to the table this way. With no, it's comfortable down here.
In the bunker. You
In
mean
the bunker?
You
I
mean
like the bunker.
Bunker.
You mean under Area 51?
Yeah.
Wink,
in my
wink.
bomb shelter.
The bunker.
Wink, wink.
My bomb shelter.
All right. Beer.
Yes, Nebraska Brewing Company, Black Betty. This is an imperial stout. It is 10.6, so a little less than the last one that we had. 67 IBU, so it's kind of like mid to mid-high range on the IBU count. And yeah, these are barrel aged. This is their barrel aged series. And I remember going to Nebraska Brewing Company about a year or so ago, and they were having a barrel aged tasting, and it was all their barrel aged beers. And I knew going in, I was like, I invited a friend of mine. I was like, I want to go to this, and he's like, I don't drink barrel aged beers. I'm like, can you come with me and maybe have one or drink whatever other beer that because they had it at their the Papillion location.
The tap room.
Yeah, in Papillion there.
Over there on 108th and Harrison?
No.
No.
72nd and
Oh, so in Shadow Lake.
Shadow Lake, yeah.
In Shadow Lake. Okay,
Shadow
so
Lake
that's not the
Pavilion.
tap room. Then. That's in their regular.
Yeah.
facility.
Well, actually, they do most of the brewing out of 108th and Harrison now.
Yeah.
But yeah, he and I went, and he drove me, and I'm so glad because like after my 4th tasting, I was like, holy cow! All right, and there's like 8 different beers here. I'm halfway through, and I'm already feeling it. Holy cow! This Black Betty was one that stood out to me, and is probably one of their highest rated barrel aged beers that they have. It is fantastic, creamy, and just a lot of barrel aged beers are super booze forward. You get a lot of alcohol right up front, which I'm not a fan of because it like kills the flavor. And these Black Betties, they get the flavor out right up front, which is great. Kind of like the what was it, the Underground? What did we have before? Was it Underground Mountain Brown?
Yeah.
That was super chocolate forward.
Yeah, that was super chocolatey. Yeah.
And that was a barrel aged series, and fantastic. But it was not booze forward. I'm not the barrel aged beers that are booze forward tend to mask some of the flavor. And I get that like these are high octane beers. I get it, but
I'm kind of the opposite though. I like it the other way.
you like the booze forward?
Because I drink bourbon and I drink scotch.
Hey guys,
I did-
the spaceship's all charged up, by the way.
Oh, sweet. We're gonna take it for a spin.
Yeah.
Can we go live from the spaceship?
Just saying.
Sweet.
But yeah, and that what about the Betties though? I mean, they do the Moab. I don't know
Yeah.
if the mother
Mother
of
of
all
all beers.
all Betties, the mother of all Betties.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
It's the mother of all Betties, and they do those they do those events, and a lot of people show up, and they say they're. I just do the Black Betty. I've never had a mother of all Betties, but
Well,
one
to
of-
me,
one of these days.
the Moab for me, because I'm military, is the mother of all bombs,
Yeah.
which literally the size of a school bus. It's the largest.
Oh yeah,
It is
I've seen the videos on YouTube.
Oh, it's insane. It is the largest yield that is non-nuclear.
And to have
I
a
mean,
good
it's-
time, you could go to Moab, Utah. Have a really good time out
You
there.
could take them. You could take the mother all Betties with you to
Moab.
Moab.
Watch
and,
a
and
Moab
watch
drop
and
in Moab.
boom, and celebrate.
Yep.
It's like 4th of July. That'd be like, how do you celebrate freedom? Well, we do a lot of Moab.
We do the Moab trifecta.
Yeah, exactly. And that might actually be our next YouTube event, or actually YouTube event. Maybe
This is fantastic, by the way. I just took a
Yeah.
sip, and
Yeah.
I wish I
Yo.
wouldn't have taken it all from you though.
Oh,
You
you're
should
fine.
give you.
It's fine. I'm.
But you can
Yeah.
pick up another one at Casual Pint tomorrow.
Yeah, I will. I'll
There's
go.
more there. I left some.
Thank you.
hey, Brian.
So courteous.
Here, Brian, pass that cup over. I actually poured myself quite a bit.
I poured
did.
myself way too much too, but I already
I
thought
was
he
going to
did
say,
his.
I should probably take it from
We're
Mike.
we're brothers. It's fine.
That and this is your house.
We
You can
share
stay
we
here.
share some jeans.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do we, Jared? No, we don't share jeans.
Levi's.
No.
Well, we do wear the Eddie Bauer.
We do. I actually enjoy that.
Those are very. They're stretchy.
So comfortable.
They feel like super super pants.
Like aliens made them.
Aliens. Oh,
Pants
did you ever
from
watch
out of this
the-
world?
Did you ever watch those the History Channel talking about the ancient aliens? Did you ever watch that? show?
Okay, who was the guy
do.
that had the like crazy weird hair?
can't remember his
Giorgio Takalakos.
Yeah, it's
Taco.
He's
is-
no, it's Greek. It's some Greek name.
dude, it's
but-
Snuffleupagus.
Is
That's
it? No, I watched that show just because of
how intense he was.
no, not because of that guy, but I actually read
Ancient aliens, isn't that what it was called?
Yeah.
Ancient aliens.
Yeah.
yeah, and it's an interesting show. I mean, I don't actually believe everything that they say. Like,
Was
but
it
it's-
ancient aliens or ancient astronauts?
That's ancient aliens,
Aliens,
but they
yeah.
say they call them ancient astronauts, so
Yeah.
it refer to them as that. But yeah, it's
Which
so
you
they're-
see some of the cave
So you're
drawings.
saying that they're giant cats, is what you're saying?
Well, that's if
Ancient
you're,
aliens.
if you're in Egypt, yes,
Could be.
or falcons.
Could be.
Yeah, depending on
Could be.
But what's interesting, what they do bring out to light is there are like cave drawings or ancient drawings that that come from like multiple islands that
All look the same.
yes, and that would have no way of communicating back when these were actually made. super crazy.
I just need a station
You,
break.
you don't need to announce that. You just
Station break.
Brian and I can carry on conversations.
We got this.
We got this. It's fine.
Yeah. So
And this is the station break
the-
commercial.
There's the thing
you
that
know,
I
Brian,
wanted to
I just
talk to you about.
Bars open, right? I don't know.
So hey, no. Anyway, so yeah, did you watch the Ancient Aliens?
I did watch the Ancient Aliens, and in fact, I was very intrigued by some of the stories I said. But a lot of the stories that they had were actually written in Bible terms, kind of like the ram's horn and all that stuff. They did talk about that in Ancient Aliens, and I'm like, well, what about Ancient Aliens? I'm pretty sure the humans kind of did that, and God was the force. But it was definitely a interesting watch to check out. I would recommend if you've never seen Ancient Aliens to watch it and check it out to broaden your research and horizon of
Just take it with a grain of salt.
right as you should any YouTube channel that's out there. Take it with a grain of salt.
And if you don't know what that means, it means it adds flavor.
You can get your news from a lot of different places, and you can learn a lot of different things from a lot of different places. But the problem is it truthful or not? Well, all right. Let's branch out and let's just say this: you have an opposing story, and here's the story, and this is where you got the story from. Okay, well that's one side of the story, right? That is one person. So history is written by the winners, right? Mm-hmm. So I want to hear the story from the losers. Like, what was it actually all about? So I like hearing all sides of the stories, not just one, all of them. So
I heard about this thing.
But they're like, no, I'm truthful. Okay, that's cool that you're truthful. That's awesome. But let's hear about the person that is left in the left wing because he's not doesn't have as many followers as you. He doesn't have credibility like you do. I want to hear from that guy too. I want to hear your story. I do, but I want to hear both, just to get my facts right. You know, I'm like,
are we doing
actually,
alien stories now? Because I've got one.
Sure.
Okay. That spawned a religion. So there's this guy named Xenu, and he populated the Earth on a mountain, which spurned Scientology.
What?
That's the origin story of.
Isn't the Latter-day Saints? Isn't that from a alien story then too? John Smith.
So he got the knowledge from a higher power.
Okay.
Whether that's aliens or
Okay.
spiritual being or I don't. I mean they also use the Holy Bible and the John Smith handbook or whatever it's called. I don't know as much on that one. Could it be aliens? I don't know. Sure. We'll go with sure. Maybe. Plausible. How about that?
Well, we keep doing this long enough. I think we're going to create the Area 51 religion.
well, Brian,
52.
52.
you know,
We'll call it the
Go
B.
that long
We'll
enough,
call
we
it the B 52.
you were talking about spawning a
Tin roof.
your own species.
Rusted.
They got together. They were trying to spawn their own species of people and all that stuff. Jeffrey Epstein was trying to do that too. I'm just saying he had too soon? Too soon? Too soon? Too soon.
There's going to be comments.
Yeah.
There's gonna be comments.
Our lawyers' heads just exploded. If we had lawyers, their heads would have exploded.
I wish I wouldn't have told my mom about this.
No. It's fine.
Doesn't matter.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. She's doing her weed. She's fine.
That happened.
It's fine.
She's like, "Did you talk about that?" You're like, "No."
No. We graced on it.
We
graced on it, but we didn't talk about it.
That was a good hit, Ma.
I'm just. I got a little winded there for a second. I don't know.
Well, this is some good stuff, though. I mean, talking about Area 51 just kind of. To me, I'm
personally glad that we're not actually physically raiding Area 51, but talking about the raid of Area 51.
You know what? And I kind of deep down in me, I'm
wanted
just
to be there.
No, I wanted people to actually do it. I mean,
Like the 2 million.
It's some
2 million people. I would have loved to.
You know what would have happened to that town? They would have like shut down. I mean,
but
seriously.
I just wish it would be. I kind of compare it to what happened, like 250 years ago when patriots of this country took on the British, and said, "Hey, we don't want to be ruled by you. We don't want to have your rules."
Here's
how
we
did
don't
they
believe in-
how did they post about that?
What's that? Yeah, they couldn't. That's what I'm saying, though. That there's a bunch of guys, and then they all got buildings and breweries named after them.
Yep.
I mean, these guys.
Here's the problem.
These
though.
guys
Here's the
took
problem.
'em on.
I have your problem. There's two problems with this problem. Good Wi-Fi. Problem number one. I mean, people are just gonna show up and be like, "Really? I don't have a cell signal here. Like, I ain't got time for this. Like, I gotta go." And number two, water. Who's got the water? Who has water? Because you need water to survive, for one. It's the desert. Like, you're going to get overheated, and that's going to happen. Yeah. So, Wi-Fi and water. That was the problem with raiding Area 51.
But the real thing is, the whole thing is like, the government, our government scheme stuff. But really, let's face it, it's great to live in this country. I mean,
it is.
Hey,
It's great to expend our rights to do whatever we want to do.
Yeah, exactly.
And go wherever we want.
We're not persecuted. I mean, even though our government keeps secrets from us and does stuff that we don't always agree with, we still have a really good life here. I mean,
Mike, we have a podcast where we drink beer.
I know. That's what I'm saying. And a lot of
For
people.
3 years.
But you go out there and you go online, you see people how horrible this country is and how bad. How we don't have access to like great health care and stuff. I'm going, you got go to West Africa. Spend 10 days in West Africa and then come back to this country and say the same thing.
Plead your pity on us.
Then say that. And I think people were like going, yeah, I spent way too much of my life.
I watched a lot of flies land on a lot of people's eyeballs.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
That's
and
weird.
you were in the Navy. I didn't realize that you were in the Navy, but you probably, you realize, man, some people got it really crappy. And people that live in this country need to know how really, really good they have it. They don't stop worrying about how the 100% is, or the 1% of the 99% is. Just worry about how you are right now in the moment.
Here it is. Right now. You see that I have electricity?
Mm-hmm.
You see that I actually left and used the restroom, and I had running water over there.
You mean your outhouse?
You notice we have a refrigerator over here full of beer, and I have a refrigerator upstairs. Do you realize I'm live streaming and have internet? Wow. I am like in the top 10% of
1%.
Top 1%. Oh, yeah. I was saying 10 to be graceful.
Right.
But, yeah, I'm in the top 1%.
We'll say 2.
Yeah.
We are the 2%.
We're the 2%.
I'm just saying.
we haven't hit 1% category yet.
But no,
I'm just saying we have it good here.
we have
really
it great.
do.
And that's the disappointing thing about social media is like they like to put out how bad things are here, and I'm like, dude, you have no idea.
No,
really, you really have forgot.
Now you go to
where-
San Francisco. That's a whole nother ball game.
Or Flint, Michigan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I totally forgot. They don't even have running water that's viable to drink.
Yeah.
Or will bathe in.
How's your water? Flammable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what are we 5 years in? Still hasn't been corrected.
Well, it's
at least 3
at
years.
this time. It's like, why would you live there anymore? Like, they haven't fixed it in 5 years. They're not gonna fix
Yeah,
it.
it's
Like,
it's 3 to 5
just
years. It's still going on.
Desert the town. You're like, are you still waiting for your case of water next week? Like,
And there's a precedent for that. I mean, that's actually happened before in this
Yeah.
country where we
How do you
just,
shower?
just moved everybody out and moved them somewhere else. I mean,
waiting for my ration of water again. And I'm like, no.
I go to
come on.
Walmart and I buy a gallon of water and I take a shower.
Yeah, right.
but yeah, so that's the one thing I want people to kind of
That's terrible.
take
but
away
that's-
from this.
That's probably what you do, though. I mean, in Flint,
Oh, I don't
Michigan,
know.
would you take a? I wouldn't take a shower in that water.
I'm just surprised people still live in that town. Because I'd be like, you have no central plumbing anymore? Okay, all right, well, go take a crap in the river. What? I don't. What? Huh?
Dude, I would
Wash
if
your
I-
clothes on a rock.
Dude, if I lived there, I would literally poop on the steps of the freaking courthouse. Like, until this is fixed, I'm pooping on your doorstep. Literally pooping on your doorstep. because we don't have clean water, which seems like a basic human necessity.
Is it though?
Clean
Yes.
water? You
Yes.
cannot live.
Clean water, yes. As in a central flowing
I'm-
system to take your
No,
poop
I-
away from your house.
I'm just
is
saying-
that a basic right?
I'm just
flowing
saying
water, yes.
clean water.
Clean water, yes.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
But
I'm not
flowing
saying
water for your poop to get out of here. I don't know if that's a basic necessity, but clean water, yes, I agree with.
my poop disagrees.
Yeah, if you don't have,
You could poop in
prefer
dirty
not to-
water and make it go.
I prefer
your
to
toilet water does
not
not have to be clean.
boil my water. I mean, having to boil your water to actually have
I
drinking water.
disagree with that. Whatever
I,
you just
I,
said.
I know. I was just. I was joking with that. Excuse me. My bidet needs a filtered water. Thank you.
That could be the crappiest water ever you pooped in.
Literally.
Yeah, but literally because it's crap water. But as far as a human right for clean water, absolutely,
Yeah.
I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
Wow, where do we go in this conversation?
We're just
what are we doing?
I-
Area 51, we rated.
That's what I'm.
Jeez.
That's all. Kind of trying to tie this together is. Rating Area 51 is not social responsible, not doing anything that
Yeah.
you should be doing because you have it really good. And you think about people that don't
It's
have
on
it.
the board there. It's on the board.
It's got to happen. No,
There you
keep
go.
Oh, yes. I want to use the copper one.
Oh, wait, can I have that for a second?
Not yet.
Oh yeah, crack the beer first, and then let me have it. You were
Take
talking.
as much as you want first because I already
Yeah.
I overhill.
This
That's
is like
legit. Yeah.
this is like steel casting. This is like they poured this into a mold and it's like this is not copper.
I use that as a personal safety
I don't
device.
know. It's pretty heavy though. All right.
Oh,
Yeah, you can hear that.
I'm not really though.
Oh, we can hear it in my headphones.
You can hear it in your headphones, but I don't think the general
Okay.
public can hear it. I mean,
Well, let's have them comment on it. Can you hear that?
hold on. Again, that's very quiet.
Hi, Diaz. Thank you for commenting.
Well,
What does Diaz have to say? Do you have a question?
Hi.
Hi.
this is 8 months old, so this is an 8-month-old beer that's been sitting in my.
It's like a baby.
Give it to him.
No.
No, that's I got more. I got another one at home anyway.
But you're the one that's
know, I brought
Ubering
them.
it up. So
I don't. Yeah. Well, that I can just, I can keep drinking after. I can probably have my Uber driver stop and get me more. So.
I actually have some. Never mind. We'll.
This bourbon.
I have undercover beer.
we actually did a Bourbon County progression 16, 17, 18, and 19. That
Yeah,
was awesome.
that was
Yeah.
actually Brian. It was just Brian and I wish there would have been more here, but it just was one of those like, okay, let's go. Random. Those who are just tuning in, we have 92 podcasts that you guys can listen to. Check out our mainframe of podcasts.
Mainframe.
Mainframe, the mainframe, the mothership of computer.
Go to the
mainframes.
interwebs. It's a series of tubes.
So this is actually kind of recent and new for Brian and I to actually go live on YouTube, and it's actually pretty cool to see.
Recent as of hour and a half ago.
Well, we actually went live on YouTube last week, but we weren't live on YouTube. We were live on Facebook. That was producing live on YouTube. So it's actually cool to come on here and actually see people pop on, pop off, but we don't know who they are and leave comments, and that's great. And in fact, our very first comment was like, "Hey, you really don't have any people watching. I'm going to watch the whole show." And this person has been watching the whole show, and that's
Nice.
great. So, you know,
Mucho appreciato.
mucho, give us.
I hope you're drinking along with us.
exactly. You should be.
That's what you need to do.
Because we progressively got.
That's what I do. I listen to you guys. I sit on my back patio and I have beer and
Or
I have
12.
a cigar in one hand and just
Nice.
kind of. And my wife's like, "What the hell are you doing?"
You're like, you
do
don't know.
I-
You should be
I
in
have-
this conversation right
can
now.
I-
It's amazing.
I'm
Can
enjoying
we
myself.
turn on music, please? Nope.
Nope. These
No.
guys are on fire right now.
And I don't know if we talked about this before, but I knew Britt from JSAV when I was there helping out for a while, and
Yeah.
he told me, he goes, "Oh, I got this podcast, go check it out." And I was like, "Oh, the first time I was like, I'm hooked." My first one, and I talked to Brian about this earlier.
We're brothers. We're
Yeah.
having a good time.
and he
Yeah.
was what's going on with Harp? And then you guys
Oh,
are
yeah.
drinking Harp beer, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome.
That's a good
No,
correlation.
no, that's actually genius. I love this. These guys are actually got a marketing kind of brain.
Yeah.
So
Well, that
and
was-
you talked about getting back to that, kind
Yeah.
of trying to find a tie-in, and you did try to find
Tonight, the beers on my end were on fire.
trying to tie it in.
On
and
fire!
Yeah, your beers are amazing. His tied in at least.
Yeah.
yeah.
The mystery beer.
No,
we
that
started
the
off with.
Intergalactic Warrior. My wife will just be like going, "Did you have any of that left? Is there
Actually,
did
we
you bring
have
some back with you?"
a pint still left, so
Well,
just
we
saying.
actually have a whole growler left. so, yeah.
But yeah, but no, we'll get some tomorrow down at Fall Festival.
Hey,
Which
Uh,
is what's the? Did we do the hours of the fall festival down there?
starts at like 11, ends at 11. So it really kind of ends when the Nebraska Huskers win their next game tomorrow night.
And
So,
they will
yay!
win.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And it'll be on the big screen there at Casual Pint, which I will be supplying the big screen and TV and sound system and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
But
come down and enjoy.
If
and
you're
I
new,
do.
go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I do look forward to some of your other podcasts coming up. Probably. I mean, like I said, if you guys can do that tie-in thing, it's just hilarious. And,
That's what.
Yeah,
and
we need to get back to that.
yeah, and it's just it's the whole thing.
So
and-
I was talking to Al Ziri down at Spirit World, and Al Ziri said that he wanted to do a vermouth podcast, and I'm like,
How do we-
I'm like,
well,
like,
sweet vermouth is
no, he goes, I want to do it because of your reaction. Because I'm like, don't get me wrong, vermouth, it's good to add to the cocktail, but just like this is gonna be the vermouth. This is gonna be the vermouth show, and he goes, yeah, no, it's gonna be good. I'm like, so you're gonna be mixing this stuff? He goes, yeah, we probably will. Yeah, we probably will. But like, he's like, but your action is why we should do this podcast. And I go,
fair enough.
Al Ziri,
Fair enough.
I trust you with all of my alcoholic beverages that you were going to make for me.
Yeah.
Because he is a
He is
Superman of...
He has forgotten
Making
more
cocktails.
about alcohol
is
than
he
Britt and I
is he
know.
Italian? Is that why? Is he
No, I could
He's
be.
he's an international man of mystery.
okay?
We'll go with that.
I mean, full disclosure. I mean, I love Casual Pint and everything, but I
You
Spirit
know,
World
well,
there
that's, and that's,
because
this,
of their
this show
knowledge.
is 90% beer based. I will say that.
Yeah.
But there's that 10% where we do the hard alcohol and we do the wine and we try to
I did
expand our horizons.
One of my favorites was the whiskeys of the world.
Mhm.
When we did the Scotch, we did the Irish whiskey, the American whiskey, and we did the Canadian.
That was an
whiskey.
earlier one.
Yeah, it was.
I remember listening to
That was
one.
that was a lot of fun, and
Mhm.
the differences between all of them.
But I mean, I love sweet vermouth because I mean I love Manhattans. I'm a Manhattan
Oh,
guy. I
yeah.
drink Manhattans, and if I'm going to get good vermouth, I get it from Spirit World.
Mhm.
So this is one of my favorite memes that Jake posted today. He goes, when someone at the he goes,
Oh, I know more than you.
I know more than you.
Yep.
Leave me alone.
One of my so that's from Parks and Rec, and
Yeah, it's great.
What is his character's name? Ron Swanson.
Ron. Good old Ron.
So one of my
Did we like harmonize in
Yeah.
that one?
Yeah.
Ron Swanson. I love the circular desk, and he
Yeah.
just keeps on spinning in Parks and Rec.
spinny chair, spinny chair.
He's like, I'm not going to talk to you. I'm just gonna
One of my favorite Ron Swanson moments was he's at a restaurant and the waiter comes and he's like, "Bring me all the bacon that you have." And the waiter leaves and he's like, "Sir, I think what you heard was bring me a plate with a lot of bacon. What I said was bring me all the bacon that you have."
Good old Ron Swanson.
Yep. I love bacon.
Back to Area 51.
Oh my God, it's over.
Is it over?
I think so.
Well, it is.
Is he?
Now we're just waiting for the
It's not midnight there yet. It's
No.
midnight here, but
Yeah.
it's not midnight there yet.
It's
So
10
it's
o'clock
not. It's not over yet.
But wasn't the raid supposed to happen this morning?
well the real raid
Officially.
was already early.
3 a.m.
Wait,
this morning.
But
The
tomorrow
real-
there's actually supposed to be more events going on tomorrow. There's actually another.
well,
alien-
usually there's more of a crowd on a Saturday
Saturday,
than
yeah.
there would be on a Friday.
because
People couldn't take off work. You
Exactly.
know,
There's-
They could drive there.
there's the base camp
Festival.
the base camp one,
Base
which is
Camp Festival.
which is away from the Rachel one. They're having like a question and answer for some ufologists. It's going to be a whole UFO.
I wonder if they'll have us on. You were like, you were the only live stream going on.
Maybe
guys need to
they
come down here and answer
maybe
some
they
questions.
recorded clips of this and said, "Oh yeah, these guys are totally idiots."
Really know what's going on.
They're halfway right.
do not
They
quote
must
me on
have
anything.
been there before.
Wow.
As
Well,
I
we have
understand
one of
it, as I understand, we have lawyers now. I want to be in that lawyer thing. Can I? What do I have to sign?
Going out of frame. Lawyers.
You were totally in frame still.
Oh, we have, Creighton University's not very far away. They got some really smart lawyer guys.
Oh
over there.
yeah, no, I'm sure we
We can find some if we had
We'll
to.
get a student. Be like, can we borrow a student and have him do extra credit?
All you have to all you have to do is trip and fall in the area of Area 51, and we've got it. We're done. We're good. We're fine. Look, I tripped and fell on this. That's the fence. Well, I fell on it. I tripped.
I got punctured by a rusty nail from your fence that I was trying to climb.
Very well could happen. Very well could happen.
Yep. Should we wrap it up and just continue?
Yeah,
just do the
why
after
not?
talk.
Exactly.
Do the after talk.
We've been going on
Yeah.
for 2 hours now, which is great.
Just random.
Really? 2 hours when we started late.
we
did.
started way late. We started 45 minutes later than we wanted to.
Yeah, we did.
And we had problems, hence why we're only on certain networks right now that allow us to be on them.
Well, I'd like to come back in another year and
Yeah,
maybe we
absolutely.
do this
We're all about
again
it.
in a year.
Or
and-
sooner.
we can do sooner. Just maybe we need another person though.
If we can go 2 hours with 3 guys, I think we're doing just
We're
fine.
gonna go 4 hours with 4.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, this is a good time.
I think we need to end it right now and then go to the after talk.
Yeah. So look for us on YouTube. Look for us on live stream. Look for us on Vimeo. We've
gonna-
actually been live on all of those. But when all said and done, I will cut the card out of here. I will throw it in my computer. I will merge everything together
Put it
and
on
actually
Facebook.
put one full video together on Facebook. That's where we really do most of our work from. So
There we go.
just FYI.
There we go. All
It'll
right.
probably take me till Sunday to do it though.
Or Monday.
Well, you got the fall festival tomorrow, so
That's right.
I have the fall
It might
festival
not
tomorrow,
be till Monday. We're going
and
Monday.
Sunday I'm on an airplane to Minneapolis.
We've been talking about.
No, it'll be tomorrow. It'll be Sunday.
All right,
We've
I'll
been
do it
talking-
on the plane.
you can do that.
I can do that with a card and a computer.
We have.
We have the technology.
We have. All right. We've been talking on Area 51 raid, and from our bunker.
Yes.
God, we should have started the show with
hold
that.
on.
that we're from
What's the
bunker.
second one down? Third one down.
Black Betty.
Script Town?
Oh,
no,
underground.
third-
the underground mound.
Yeah,
10.
we're under the ground. We are on the underground mountain
That's
right,
right. In our underground mountain.
now. As our studio all the time. The underground mountain.
That's right.
Underground mountain.
Dang.
1.21 gigawatts from the underground mountain.
That is our catchphrase from here on out. 1.21.
1.21 gigawatts from the underground mountain. Perfect.
Catch you on the flip side.
That's right. We talked about the raid on Area 51, but we talked like
We
so
talked about
many
the
other
moon.
things.
We talked about space. We talked about
all things alien and time travel and
Exactly.
beer.
We
and
We did get
whatever.
time travel in there.
Yeah, we did.
we did, and that was a weird thing.
we went. That was way off topic.
But we went
And
there.
I think we went forward in time and backward in time, but we catched up in time at the same time.
Hi, I'm from the future. Watch this podcast.
It's 2 hours long, but it's only going to feel like 20 minutes.
Exactly.
Only if you're token.
Watch it on times 2.
That's right. All right. Well, my name's Brian.
I'm Britt,
I'm done.
and you're done.
Thanks,
Your
Mike.
name's
for joining